wrapped around your soul with no control. You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I'll run, I'll hide. Darkness always clouds my mind. When I look behind, it's moving closer every time. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. There's darkness, my old friend. You get me till that's the end. At the end. Can you feel it wrapped around your soul with no control? You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. There's darkness, my old friend. You get me till the end.
What's going on, folks? Will Stewart here with another post-match THFC rant session. A lot of rant about tonight. These are always the best shows. It's not that I want the team to perform poorly, but the shows are always fun and entertaining, based on all of the opinions that come from you folks out there. If you want to join the stream, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. All you have to do is click the link and join, and you can come on and have your say, whether it be positive or negative. There's no judgment here. We may disagree with your premise or your opinion, but all opinions are welcome. But I am joined tonight by my good friend, online friend, because we never met in person, but my good online friend, Mr. Cody Mack. How are you today? Have you been able to dwell in the gloriousness that was today's match, or have you kind of unplugged yourself from all things Tottenham?
You know what? In a way, I'm relieved. You know, there was just something not right about sitting at the top of the table for that long. Doesn't matter how early it was in the season. Like, there's something not right about being detached from the reality of the shortcomings of Tottenham Hotspur, you know? Whereas, like, going into the Man City game, it was like, okay, I'll be okay if we lose this game. If we get 4 out of the 9 possible points, we'll be doing pretty good. You know, in those first 3 games, you know, we 3 clean sheets, maybe only score 3 goals, but you get all 9 points, and it's like, man, I'm starting to get deluded. I don't want to delude myself. And today, nature was healing today. Today, for reasons that we will discuss at length on WillStewartTHFCRants, a certain balance was rediscovered in the world of being a Tottenham supporter.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and for me, and for folks that are watching, if you don't want to come on the show, do make sure you get into the chat, right? Make sure that you're participating in the chat. All activity in the channel. Unfortunately, you do have to subscribe. Not because I'm forcing you to subscribe, but because it discourages trolls. Okay, so we do get, I feel if you're going to troll the channel, you should at least be subscribed to it on a regular basis. So the chat is set to subscriber only mode. You're free to subscribe and then unsubscribe after if you so choose. But in order to get involved in the chat, which we do recommend, it makes the show a lot more fun when we're able to interact with people. We've got like Dietrich Kane here is a long-time follower and subscriber to the show. Island Life. Cha-Cha India Spurs. I think it's the first time we've seen you in the chat. Welcome to the show. Good morning from India Spurs. It's late night for us. Reload is always here. Thanks for watching. Mr. David, 안녕하세요 to you too. And the chemist is saying, watching Heung score somewhat made up for the brutal loss. I don't know if I would say that, although I do like it when Korean internationals are successful in Europe. That doesn't make up for Tottenham Hotspur. Athos Anderson always here in the chat. Goguma Nim is here. 안녕하세요 to you too, Goguma. We always love having you. A huge faithful supporter. Shane Black and Shamu Van Spurs from the lands down under. Thank you guys for watching. Another dear friend to the show who has his own channel. A fellow Yank like myself. Mr. Kirian's from Spurs After Dark.
How's it going,
Welcome
guys?
to the show, Kirian. It's going good. Folks at home, if you love the show and you want to help support it, if you think that we are good for, I don't know, maybe look. If I prize anything about this show or my channel in general, is that I think that we bring an unfiltered reality, or I guess you could say a broader picture of what the fan base represents. We have people that completely disagree with us. I'm Mr. Negative. Although today on all of the shows, I did join Mari's show earlier today, and I was the most positive one there. I felt out of place, like I just had to intentionally be negative just to feel normal. Yeah, it's surprising, right? But I think that it comes from my rational nature, right? I'm not positive or negative. I'm simply just rational. And it seems like I'm just some kind of like emotionless robot, which may be the case, but that's just how I am. I think the show brings you get all spectrums of views. Some you like, some you don't like. But we're welcome to all opinions. So make sure you go ahead and hit that link that's pinned to the top and join.
Beep,
going
boop,
in.
Beep. Cannot
Beep, boop.
accept unbiased opinion.
I mean, you can ask reload.
Please support argument with logic and reason. Beep, boop,
Yeah.
beep.
You can ask reload triple XXXXX, right? You know, even on Discord, you know, I get into all of these philosophical channels and debates. I mean, it's just something that's just the way that I work. I didn't choose it. It chose me. And that's a philosophical concept in and of itself. Mr. DP is also in the house. How are you doing today? How did you're not West Ham. I can't remember what team you support, but we always love having you in the chat. I always forget. I always assume it's your West Ham fan, but that's the other person. You can remind me if you want to. Today's match, we ended up losing 3-0 to Crystal Palace. The 3-0 part of things to me was a bit surprising. I mean, based on the circumstances, it wasn't surprising. But I mean, like, I think that we were going to lose the match 3-0, but I did think that it was very possible that we would lose today, simply for the fact of the current situation of the squad. But with the question that's been going all day on Twitter, on shows, is Nuno at fault for this loss? Yes or no, Mr. Cody Man?
Yes and no. I mean, in some, like, I don't think that there's a single Tottenham supporter worldwide who would have set up a midfield three of Harry Winks, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, and Oliver Skip. Nobody would have called that. But is it Nuno's fault that Tanganga went in and got himself sent off in the 58th minute? Not really. You know, that's just youthful exuberance, nature of the situation, things boiled over between him and Zaha. Probably both players were fortunate not to be seeing red in the initial confrontation. But Tanganga has to know that so soon after that flashpoint in the game that he cannot go in and make a rash tackle in midfield and give the ref a reason in an already hostile environment to get himself sent off. Do I agree with the tactics that we were employing in terms of, like, I thought that we showed Crystal Palace way too much respect in terms of, like, how defensive our starting 11 was. Like, again, not just the midfield, but like just moving Dele Alli out of that midfield. Dele Alli, who has shown more on the defensive side of the ball than he has going forward, and inserting Harry Winks into the midfield and not having Brian Heel in there, not having Tanguy and Ndombele. We definitely set up to expose ourselves to the possibility of what happened. Did it play out the way that I would have expected? No, not so much. But I mean, when Tanganga got sent off, the score was 0-0, and despite the fact that we kind of survived the first half, especially the last 10 minutes, I felt like the confrontation between Tanganga and Zaha actually started to open the game up more for us. It was almost like, you know, if you're watching a boxing match and you've got two pugilists who are like mostly focused on blocking each other, the Tanganga-Zaha confrontation turned it into a real fight. Like, you were starting to see both teams starting to like take shots.
Yeah, it brought energy. It brought energy to the match.
It did. And
before we go forward a little bit more, I do want to bring in the guy who is responsible for love children all over the Spurs community.
Oh yeah. All right.
For people that don't know, Mari does have a great show on Wednesday nights called The Love Lounge. And you know, you've got he's got that show. It's I'm telling you, you got to get me to clip that audio and send it to you so you can play it, you know.
Yes. Bob, your voice has been one-upped.
Welcome to Mari's Love Lounge.
Oh yeah, I'm Bob. I think we'll trump you on that one. Oh, I'm getting. I should keep that to myself. I'm like, well,
He's getting goosebumps. He's getting goosebumps.
I'm getting goosebumps. Let's just say, I'm getting goosebumps. Oh man.
But Cody, go ahead and finish your extrapolation. I can't even speak today.
In short, it was both the fault of Nuno for giving Crystal Palace a little bit too much respect in terms of how we set up, and it's hard because we don't really know the reasons as to why some players weren't selected. Maybe Brian Hill was tired because like if you're playing a tired Brian Hill and you're playing an Ndombele, you're kind of like locking yourself into 2 out of your 3 substitutions right off the bat. So like I don't want to like slate him per se. I will say, like, as much as I disagree with the way that we set up and the game plan, it was working until Jaffet got himself sent off. And when you go down to 10 men with 30 minutes left and the player that gets sent off is a center back, and you've already lost another center back, and your other 2 center backs aren't available. Like, I've seen some people criticize the fact that we brought on Davies when Tanganga got sent off, but you have to replace him. You have to
Who's
replace
gonna
him.
go? Who else is gonna come on?
That's it, right?
Yeah, and
So-
Bob, thank you very much, my friend. I love you too. For people that don't know, that's Bob's way of saying he loves you.
Yeah.
He'll tell you to piss off.
But like there is a certain degree of blame to be shared between both the manager and the players.
Well, sure, and like I'll go into my opinions later, but I would agree. I think ultimately Nuno is at fault, but there are a lot of circumstances there that make it a justifiable circumstance in my mind. But Kieran, what are your thoughts on the topic?
Yeah, I think Nuno was completely at fault for this one. Honestly, I think the way he set up was completely wrong, given the personnel we had available. First of all, playing Harry Winks, Oliver Skip, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg in midfield was a recipe for disaster. So now you've taken what little creativity exists in our midfield out of those 3 players that we've been playing, Dele, Skip, and Højbjerg, and then you throw in Harry Winks, who has offered and shown absolutely nothing for the past 3 years. You're better off playing a young player, getting Niall John time in that space. But regardless, he should have left Dele alone in midfield. I think because we were short on wingers, if he felt that Brian Hill wasn't ready to start, wasn't ready to play this match, then he should have gone 2 up top with Kane and Mora, played the same 3, Dele, Højbjerg, and Skip across, and then worked out the back line from there. But honestly, I think, given the personnel we had available, I think a back 3 or a back 5 would have been a better setup, and try and get that creativity from our wide players and attack them through width. Honestly, and Cody, if I'm not mistaken, you said you thought it was working up until Tanganga got sent off? Is that what you said?
Yeah, and I'm my thought process is, yes, like the score was still 0-0 at that point. So if you're Nuno and your strategy coming into the game was to set up to frustrate for the greater portion of the game and then try and smash and grab the points late, which at the time when Tanganga got sent off, Brian Hill was ready to come on. I can only assume that Brian Hill was going to be substituted for one of Harry Winks or Dele Alli, probably Harry Winks. That's right out of Nuno's playbook.
Okay, I understand that. I understand what you're saying there. My point is that if you're 0-0 at halftime against this Crystal Palace team, it's not working. You should not be trying to frustrate and hit them on the counter, smash and grab a win against a team like Crystal Palace. They have 2 decent players in their team right now. 2. One of the 3 that they have in the whole squad is injured. They have Zaha and they have that Gallagher kid who's on loan from Chelsea. You isolate him 1-1 with Højbjerg, and then you rely on Tanganga and the rest of the back line to deal with Zaha. The rest of the team is useless. There's absolutely no reason that from minute one, we shouldn't be trying to ram it down their throats and score as quickly as possible. If you want to set up and frustrate, it's a lot easier to set up shop after you've already scored a goal. We shouldn't be getting 0-0 at halftime against teams like Crystal Palace. It's just
look, Kieran, I'm not saying what Nuno did was
I'm
right.
not arguing with you, Cody. I'm not. This isn't directed at
I know.
you. I was
know,
just using what you said as a piece of
hear you. I hear you, but
I just think that we shouldn't be accepting this. You know, it's
no, I understand, but let's not like completely disrespect Crystal Palace in their own house either, because as much as they are not a team that will finish close to us in the table, I think we could all acknowledge that there are no real easy games in the Premier League.
That's true.
Every game is competitive, and when you're when you're on the road and you're in someone else's house, listen, I don't disagree. We showed them way too much respect in terms of how we set up. I don't agree with that, but in terms of like how it was being executed, if you're just looking at the score line when Tanganga got sent off, it was 0-0 at that time. So it is entirely conceivable that if Tanganga doesn't get sent off, we make the offensive substitution, we bring Hill in, we become more progressive, and we grab the 3 points, if not secure at least 1 point. So
no, and that's
but I don't
totally
agree with
fair.
it. It's not. It doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not.
It's totally fair. It's totally fair for for him to have it. You're completely right. In his mind, he's in a good place there with the strategy he's going with until Tanganga gets sent off. It's just the complete wrong strategy to go against a team like Crystal Palace. I understand that this isn't Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace, that they're not just going to go into a shell and put 11 men behind the ball. But if anything, that provides us even more avenues to make attempts on goal. That provides even more space for our attacking players because they're not the same Crystal Palace that's going to park the bus. And the fact that he didn't try to push the team forward early on and exploit that, get men forward, get in the box and exploit that, get an early goal, and then we can set up to frustrate. It's just I don't understand why he would approach this game in this way. Listen, Man City, I get it. Wolves away even. Wolves are a pretty decent team. They had a bad year last year, but they're a decent team. They've got good players, and Molineux is a hard place to play. I get it. Watford, I wasn't happy with it, but I wasn't ready to be upset because at the end of the day, clean sheet, 3 points. But this time, against Crystal Palace, we have to get on the front foot. It's just no teams do not. None of the top 6 teams win by going away to these grounds and playing that conservatively. It's just they don't do it. Man City doesn't do it. Chelsea doesn't do it. And I'm not saying we're at that level, but we aspire to be. That's where we want to be. We need to start having the attitude that we are better than these teams and we can assert our will onto them. Even if we don't have a complete starting 11. We still had Harry fucking Kane on the pitch. Like, Nuno needs to be, and he's completely anonymous because there doesn't seem to be any real plan on how to get him the ball. And it's just, I think it was wholly unacceptable from him today. It showed a real lack of understanding of the team that he's taking to this match and the team that he's confronting in this match. And like, I'm not saying Crystal Palace are I'm not trying to disrespect them completely. Listen, I understand Selhurst Park, they have a committed fan base. It's not an easy place to play. Small stadium, but it's very close. It gets really loud. But I mean, look at their squad, man. Just look at their squad. These guys are bums. A lot of them are bums. There's only 3 players on their entire roster who have a hope of getting into our team.
No, they're not bums. I'm sorry. They're not bums. They're not bums. Because thing is, like, if Crystal Palace are a team full of bums, I'm sorry. So are we. Really. Like, our squad.
We have some players who are bums in our squad. We know this.
Those are players that we were relying on today, right? So if it's bums versus bums, are we really supposed to expect to go in there and clatter them?
But those are players we didn't have to rely on. They didn't have to play. Harry Winks did not have to play in this
No.
game.
I never said that we did, but that's what happened, right?
Well, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. This is all on the manager. It's about his
so it's
team
on-
selection, his tactics. It was cowardly. It was honestly a cowardly performance from Nuno. That's what
I would disagree that necessarily Harry Winks didn't have to play. But before we get into that, and while you guys have been talking, and I've been writing down some questions, so we'll have some good content to discuss tonight. Mari, what are your thoughts? Is Nuno, the question on the table now for the panel, is Nuno at fault for today's result?
From ranting earlier in the day, took a nap, got to thinking, and I'm going to give the answer that everybody hates. Yes and no. I'm going to say yes, because when I saw the lineup, like you guys already know, I said, oh, I already felt we had a losing lineup when it came out with the three holding midfielders and with Dele in the lineup. But I'm gonna get in Nuno's mind and think, because you just talk about Crystal's Palace rosters compared to our roster. Maybe Nuno, with Song being injured, Bergwijn being injured, doesn't really think our team was that good enough to go on the attack against Crystal Palace. And if he's thinking that way, then that's really discouraging. So I can understand it, but it's really discouraging because, you know, I'm of the belief, you know, we have Harry Kane, you know, against Crystal Palace. You want to go, and you look at the rest of the team, you want to think, all right, it's better than Crystal Palace. But if our coach prepares that lineup like he did today, then it's a message saying that, number one, we don't have the depth, but number two, this is what he thinks about a team, that we're not going to go for the win, or you know, basically have a lineup set up like if we're playing Liverpool or City and whatsoever. Then you know what? I mean, I can't blame it, but also I'm not happy because I get what Cody's saying, that get the smash and grab, and we've come to the point where we have to smash and grab against Crystal Palace. I bet the injuries, but still you want to think, damn, we're Tottenham. You know, we and gosh, it's hard to stomach Højbjerg, not Højbjerg the player, but the lineup of Højbjerg, Skip, and Winks when you have a Dembele, even at 50%, is better than at least Winks. To Winks' credit, you guys know Skip played much more horrible than Winks. But then again, I didn't expect Skip to start because of the injury. I thought it was going to be Winks, possibly Tanguy, and Højbjerg, and then Gill, you know, to play on the left. But my answer is yes, from my perspective. But if you get in Nuno's head, no, he felt like he had to do what was best for his team, hence the circumstance. So, if that answers your question.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your opinion, and I don't necessarily disagree with the yes and no, right? I think that some of the accusations that were spun out at Nuno are a little unfair, but overarchingly, I don't disagree.
Like, let's put it into perspective here. How many times in a Premier League match do you see a substitution made for a center back? Not very often,
No,
right?
bro.
How many? We had to make 2 substitutions today for center backs. Like, when you started off the day, despite the fact that we set up negatively, blah, 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 Ben Davies was nowhere near that lineup, right?
Yeah.
Dyer got hurt. Tanganga got sent off. Rodon and Davies both get called into action. It's extenuating circumstances, however you want to cut it up. Davies gives away the handball after Tanganga gets sent off, so you've got those two like blunt force episodes that happen in the game that put us in a position where we're down 10 men and we're down a goal. After that, it's game over. I'm sorry, it's game over. Like the scoreline, whatever, 3-0, so be it. You can take it or leave it. It might hurt us in the end in terms of goal difference, but Ben Davies was never meant to walk on the pitch today, and it's really tough. It's really tough.
Well, I think the evidence for that is that Rodon is not a left-sided center back. So for Nuno to play him on the left over Ben Davies, who is a left-sided center back in a back three pairing, it is obvious that Nuno had no intention of putting Davies in the match unless he had no other choice, which
he did. He ended up with no other choice but to put Ben Davies in. And you know what?
I mean, he played another player out of position.
I feel bad because Ben Davies, he's not going to make a mistake of that magnitude every time he gets on the pitch, but it definitely feels like that. But like, how the fuck is this a natural position for your arm to be in as a defender? Like,
it wasn't even that. If you watch the slow-mo back, he had his arm out, and when the cross came across, he literally turned into it. Like his arm comes forward.
It was idiotic.
It's like it was whacked it.
It's
like
his arm was out before the cross started, yes. But his
it was
motion,
like a target.
He literally turned into the ball and it hit his arm, and he's like, "What did I do?"
But Cody, at any point in time of that game, because honestly, I thought we were gonna get a point. I mean, literally, we're gonna get a point. Did you think that we were gonna get a chance to score? I had zero confidence that we were going to score.
Yeah,
this is before
absolutely.
the red card, before everything. I actually thought it was going to be 0-0.
Honestly,
Cody, come on. We never looked like scoring. We never looked like scoring. We had nothing going forward.
Yeah, I don't deny that, but I think that the plan was, right, Nuno. Okay, so here's, again, I don't agree with the way that we set up with this game. I don't agree with the starting lineup. I don't agree with the tactics. I don't agree with any of that.
Mm-hmm.
But if Tanganga doesn't get sent off, it's entirely possible that we make a substitution to bring Brian Hill on.
Yeah.
And that we become a more progressive side, and that we get a chance and we bag it and we walk away with 3 points. Now, that's not how it played out. That's not how it played out. And it's just really hard because Brian Hill was ready to come on the pitch.
It's
when
not
Tanganga
hard,
got
Cody.
sent off.
You already said you don't agree with how that should have never been the plan. That's the whole point. Is the plan
I'll
was
tell you
bad.
why he had no other. I'll tell you why he had no other choice in a minute. But I do want to go to Abdul first.
Look,
Abdominal.
No, I started choking on my spit as I was talking, and it was like
TMI.
But Abdul, is Nuno at fault for today's loss?
Like I'm gonna give like a similar response to what the last person said. How sorry, what's the guy on the bottom right? Sorry, I forgot. I totally forgot your name. Mari. Yeah, I'm gonna give it's a similar response to what Mari said. How it's a yes or no. So am I too loud or before I?
No, you're perfect.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. So like like you guys already went through a lot of the points already. It is Nuno's fault in terms of the tactics that we did set up in the game. We did go into the game, approach the game in a very defensive, and I didn't want, like, when you do it against a Man City, you totally understand it, but I don't want this thing to be an ordinary thing. And playing a very defensive lineup, you're playing with like 3 defensive mids with Højbjerg, Winks, and Oliver Skip, and all 3 of them, even Delia, the whole team. But like that midfield, like if you're playing with 4 midfield, you're playing with a diamond, you're at least supposed to keep possession of the ball. You were getting dominated on possession by Crystal Palace's midfield, which none of us can really name their trio of midfield. Like you're getting dominated by
pretty good
in the midfield. Like a bunch of, like, listen, I'm not gonna say these guys are bums, but listen, these guys are, like, if we were linked with any of those players, we would be extremely furious if we were ever linked with those players. So those are the type of quality that we were coming up against.
I'm sorry, our midfield is shit. I would take Conor Gallagher. I would take Kouyaté.
I would take Gallagher.
You're taking no, you wouldn't take Kouyaté. No, you
I would
wouldn't.
take
Kouyaté. No, he
Over
looked
our
good
I'll
game.
take
today because of
Gallagher.
how terrible we were. James MacArthur is a bum. Joe Ward, bum. Tyreek Mitchell, Mark Wade. They have tons
Oh,
of
and
guys.
Tyron Mitchell is a good fullback.
I like him.
Oh, sorry.
But,
Yeah. No,
I would take Gallagher
Shaq.
in a heartbeat. Gallagher starts on our team. Gallagher starts on our
had
team.
like 2 good games.
No, he
None of
doesn't.
us
No, he
knew this kid
doesn't.
about a year ago.
But
No,
hold
he
on.
doesn't.
I do want to have.
Yep.
I do want to ask another question to you, Abdul, before we move on to Marcelo. But do you think that it is responsible of a Premier League manager to play unproven U23s over established members of the first team? Do you think that would go over well in the locker room?
No, like what do you mean? You're talking about the Tongi and
If, like, for
Look at-
instance, if he were to start Niall John over Harry Winks, do you think that would cause division between Nuno and Harry Winks?
Who gives a fuck?
It'll be more.
gives a
Yeah,
fuck?
exactly.
It'll
Who
be-
Harry
cares?
Winks is shit. I
know,
hope
but
it causes
Let
division
let
between them
Abdul
and
let
Harry
Abdul
Winks.
answer.
It'll cause more of a division between Harry Winks and Nuno. I think it's bigger than that. It's going to cause a division between Nuno and the rest of the squad because I think Harry Winks is a big member of the squad. He does have a lot of influence. He's been there for a long time, and I think he's very loved by the board too. This is like Daniel Levy. It's not a secret that he admires him. So I think it'll cause a bigger divide if you're playing somebody like Niall John, even though he is a part of the
And so another question to add to that to do it. Do you think that it is worthwhile to cause a permanent division within the squad over 3 points in a 38-game season?
Well, it depends. If you're seeing like the thing about Harry Winks, listen, none of us wanted him. None of us wanted him to play today in the Premier League game. We don't think he's good enough, but he does have a place in the squad. He is going to play in a Conference League game, so we're going to need him to at least be on board somewhat. But like back to the game, like what I was saying, like if you're paying in a dime,
Can I jump in though?
your stars. I'm sorry.
You're next as soon as he's
Okay.
done. So, yeah.
Yeah, like you're stacking up the midfield, and none of the midfield really had an idea of how to break the press. I think that comes a lot to do with Nuno. There needs to be some sort of coaching, some sort of like managing how to like break the press, and it's. I mean, like this midfield had no idea what to do. There was barely any movement. They're just so static. They would just pass the ball and they would just stand in one spot, and it's so easy to press them and cause them to make a mistake. There's definitely a lot of you can see that in this team it's very lopsided. Like it seems like the tactic is like just give the ball to the main players and just like make your movements and hopefully they find you. I don't think there's like a really like a strategy on how to pass the ball around. There's like no cohesion. There's no teamwork in the squad. I feel like there's a lot of people in the midfield, especially that midfield four. Was awful today. Oliver Skip, like what Mari said, he was terrible. His passes were crap. There were so many times where Reguilon and Flippin Emerson was high up the pitch, and then these players couldn't find them. Like, for example, in that first tackle with Tanganga and Wilfried Zaha that caused that whole like fight. As you can see, there was a counterattack because Emerson Royale was up the pitch, but none of our players can find him, and it's extremely frustrating when you're getting outplayed when you're getting outplayed by a team like Crystal Palace, who does not have a lot of teamwork. They are conceding a lot of goals. They have tons of new players in that team. And it's a shame that none of us was able to really exploit their weaknesses that they do have. So
Not even 2 shots on target.
Sorry?
Not even 2 shots on target.
That's what
Completely
I'm saying.
embarrassing.
It's
Completely
Crystal Palace.
embarrassing.
I'm not saying Crystal Palace are like some like high school team, but like in terms of the Premier League, Crystal Palace is like probably like the top 5 worst teams in the league. And if you're struggling to that degree against Crystal Palace, and we were struggling against Wolves, and we were struggling against Watford, it really raises a lot of concern. But I don't know what to say, to be honest. Just disappointing result, disappointing performance. We deserve to lose the game 3-0 because that's what the performance really we probably don't deserve to lose 3-0. Maybe like I'll say 1-0 or 2-0. But we definitely deserve to lose the game. And
Well, I think all the goals that they got were deserved. I don't think any one of them was an absolute was in any way.
We should have
A
lost by
fluke.
more. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah, we should have lost at least 4-5-0. I think.
Yeah, we were
The
lucky.
The effort
We
that
created nothing in that game. We had
didn't
one
show
shot
enough
on
effort.
target, and it was barely tested the keeper.
I mean,
That game was
1 or 2-0 by halftime.
Yeah, that game was the biggest joke I've ever seen in my life. And to answer Will's question about Harry Winks, I can see your point, Will, about maybe not starting Niles John over Winks to save the dressing room. But you know what you don't do, Will? You know what you really don't do? You don't play him as a number 10 for your creative midfield. That's what you don't do with Harry Winks. He's already shit as it is. You don't play him in the position where he doesn't know how to play. That's asking for suicide. That is career suicide right there. And if the decision you got to do at that moment, right, is you look at Skip. You're like, all right, Skip, you pick up a knock because it was obvious Skip wasn't, his best. So you say, you know what, Skip, you take a rest this game. I'll put Harry Winks, and then I'll put in Ndombele or Dele Alli, and then you know what, Brian Gill, we're missing some couple players. Here's your chance, buddy. That's what you do. That's what Pochettino did with Dele Alli.
No, but I think that was his intent. I just think that the circumstances of the match with Dyer and Tanganga prevented him from being able to realize that.
Too late. He should have made a change in the halftime, and also he should have set up in that way.
What's the difference between having Brian Hill standing at the sideline at the 53rd minute than doing it at the 45th?
Because if he had done it in the 45th minute, it would have changed the game, and it would change the setup in halftime. If he took out a player, right? If he took out, for example, if he took out Harry Winks, who was awful, or if he took out Skip, put Harry Winks there, and then put Dele Alli and Brian Hill in halftime, it would have changed the trajectory of the game. But he waited when he knew from the beginning, the setup from the beginning, the lineup from the beginning was absolutely negative. Not one person here can tell me when they read that lineup, they said, you know what? That's a lineup that we're setting up to win. That lineup was a setup to get either a 0-0 draw or hold on, bro. You don't set up like that, especially against Crystal Palace. That for me is unforgivable.
It was cowardly.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you, but we're looking at this from hindsight, right? We're looking. Hold on. Let me ask you a question so that you can continue to clarify. And I want you to hear the rationale that I've got here. Before Tanganga got his red card, before Tanganga even got into the hustle with Wilfred Zaha, Brian Hill was standing on the touchline ready to come on, right? So in that circumstance,
too little, too late.
Hold on. Right, this is right after halftime. We're talking not even 10 minutes into the second half, right? You could tell by that, the simple fact that Brian Hill was standing there ready to come on. You can see that Nuno's intent was to do exactly that, and the red card forced him to have to abandon that and change his tactics. We're looking back on it and saying he should have done it at the 45th minute when his whole intention was to do it that way in the first place. But because how would he have known that Tanganga was going to go off in a red card 3 minutes later?
Will, this is a dangerous game you're playing here because this is the exact same shit we kept talking about Mourinho. If this didn't happen, it fucking happened because his setup was dog shit. It was beyond horrible. Who plays Dele Alli on the left midfield?
Who else plays there?
That is disgraceful. You don't play Dele Alli there. You either play him through the middle or as a central midfielder. That's it. That's the only two positions he can play. You don't play a player in a position where he lacks pace and the wing where you need pace. That is 101.
But it's your opinion. It's your opinion that Brian Hill is ready to go. What if Nuno doesn't share your opinion?
Well, regardless whether he's ready to go, you gotta give the kid a chance.
And he was going to get a chance.
He wasn't.
You can't say he wasn't. He was standing on the sideline.
Because let me starting him. He should have been gone. He should have started from the get-go.
Okay, but that's your opinion. If Nuno doesn't share your opinion.
If he's not ready to start, then you play two up front. You play Kane and Lucas together up front. Have
Yeah.
Kane play a target man role and get in the box, which he needs to do more. Enough of this dropping back shit. He needs to get in the box, and then you can have Lucas play off of him.
Listen,
We should have played a 3 or 5 back so Reguilon and Emerson could get forward, get to the end line, cut the ball back with crosses into the box to Kane's big body standing in the box. That's how you.
But in a
create
4-4-2,
chances
who do you
when
put
you
on
have
in
no
a 4-4-2? In a
Will,
4-4-2, who do you put on the right hand
let me ask you a
side?
question.
We should have
Will, let
played
me ask you a
3 or
question.
5 back formation.
Will,
You
let
could
me
have-
ask you a
you could
question.
have
Who put-
Davis,
Will, let me-
Fire, Tanganga. You could have an Emerson, Reguilon, and then you have Kane and more up top. If your midfield is not creating, if your midfield is not linking the ball from the defense to the attack, then use your fullbacks. Use width. Why didn't we do
Will,
that?
let me ask you a
That just
question.
seems like the
Mhm.
obvious move, and I don't understand why he didn't do it.
Let me ask you a question, right? We can talk about formations all day. We can talk about who he should have started, who he shouldn't have, right?
Mhm.
But let me ask you this, because in my personal opinion, and I'll tell you my personal opinion, but I'll ask you this first. Out of all the formations that Nuno could have played, do you think the one that he started was probably the worst one? I think so. I think out of all the players he could have chosen in the formation he could have chosen, he chose one of the worst ones.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that it's the worst one. He could have started Ben Davies, but before I get into that, I do want to read Spandam Samurai super chats because there's several that he's put in. So we have Jose was slated for in Ndombele's situation. Now it's okay. For me, I mean, what is your thought on that, Marcelo? Is it Nuno's fault that Ndombele is a waste of space?
I don't blame that so much on Nuno, but Pochettino was a type of manager that just figured out a way, right? Regardless of what was going on, he always figured out a way. When he didn't have Harry Kane and he didn't have his main left back and he didn't have a bunch of players, he figured out a way to beat Dortmund and he figured out a way to beat City, right? That's what great managers do. And today, Nuno showed that he lacks that spark. And that's why I don't want him at Spurs. He lacks that spark. He lacks the ability to adapt. And it's not because we lost. It was the manner in how we lost. Because I said it to David. I said this was going to be a tough game. Palace is always a tough game. And if we went 1-1 or if we lost 1-0 and if it was a tight, close affair, I would have been okay with it. But this guy got completely outclassed by an below average manager and a below average team just because he had a couple of injuries.
I'm not sure that this team was
a below
necessarily.
average manager.
I don't
He is a
necessarily think
below
that.
average manager.
I don't think City's or Palace is a below average team.
They are. Trust me. Palace is going to finish 15th or 16th this season. They're a below average team.
They've
Can I throw-
always
can I-
finished
They're not
between
even
10th and
mid-table.
20th. They never make it higher than like 11th or 12th. I mean, they're a below average team. They are. They're
What do you
below
consider
average?
average?
Nuno, I'll tell you this.
Average would be 10th because that's 10 out of 20 teams. That's half. That's average, around 10th. And they usually finish 12th to 16th.
To answer Spandan's super chat about Ndombele, I do agree with you, Will. I think personally, I felt like Mourinho, if he didn't want Ndombele, he should have excluded him. Either way, you remember me. I said if exclude the deadwood, exclude the players that you don't want, regardless of what happens to results, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not mad that he went with Ndombele. I'm just mad about how negative he set up. And I would say this: if Mourinho had set up as negative as Nuno did today, Mourinho would have been castrated by the media.
Yep. Yes,
Castrated.
absolutely.
That I
Oh,
will
it's because
tell
it's
you
Jose
this.
Mourinho, and they've
Yeah,
had an
well,
agenda for him for
it's not
years.
It's not just the media; it's Spurs fans. There's a double
Yeah.
standard here. 'Cause
Jose
everybody's willing
Mourinho-
to make excuses for Nuno today.
No,
But if this was
not
Jose,
even-
it
Not
would be
me.
the same.
I would know. Ask Marcelo. Even after Marcelo was pro Jose at the first half of the season, he switched.
I'm
Which
not
he's welcome to his
talking
opinion.
about anybody here. I'm talking about people on Twitter. And,
Well, yeah,
and
people who
whatnot.
are irrational, maybe.
I'll tell you this. not even Mourinho has set up as negative as that lineup today.
It was a
Even when he had
4-3-3.
tons of
That's what
injuries.
people think that, the only reason why Nuno's playing a 4-3-3 is because we're supposed to be attacking.
But
You very well know if he would have set up in a 3 today, people would have been like, why is he being so defensive?
Well, the
that's
thing is,
that's because people are stupid and don't understand football or football
Exactly my
tactics.
point.
but the thing is that concerns me about Nuno, right? It's not even just this loss. And you can ask David when I went to David's channel. The Wolves game worried me. The Watford game worried me. I was worried those games. And I wasn't exactly too positive after we win. I mean, sure, I was happy because when we win, you have to be happy. You can't be disappointed for 3 points.
No, you
But
can. You can be rational even when we win.
I was really worried. And you can ask David, who is in this chat. I told him I'm really worried by the way we're playing. And I feel like it's not going to take too long until it catches up. Because we did not look convincing against Wolves. And we did not look convincing against Watford. And for me, those are 2 games where not only do we have to win, but we also have to win playing convincing and dominant football. We should. We have a better squad than those guys. I'm sorry. I'm not going to accept.
Our first 11 is better than their first 11, but our squad is not better than their squad. The people we had, the
disagree.
team we had on the pitch today was not better than the team they had on the pitch today.
I disagree. I think him playing 2 holding midfielders constantly. I mean, he played 2 holding midfielders.
Who else is he going to play?
No, hold on. Let me finish. He played 2 holding midfielders against Watford and against Wolves when there were guys like Giovanni Lo Celso available and many more, right? Like, I'm sorry, but you got to grow some balls and you got to add some more attacking. I understand. And what worried me today was his interview. The man said, after we got the red card, I needed to add Ben Davies to add balance to the team. Brother, you had 9 defenders. You had 9
Marcelo,
defenders in that squad.
the player
What do
that
you
got
mean
sent off
balance,
was a
What are
center
you
back.
talking about balance?
We're set up in a back 4, and a center back gets sent off. Who do you bring in when you only have Ben Davies, who is the
Bro,
closest
I would
thing
go
to a
for the
center back?
win. I would go
No.
for the
You
win.
can't go for the
you
win,
can't do that.
Marcelo.
No,
Why
you
we
can't
got
do that.
Davies?
You can't do that.
When you're a man down?
Not with 60 minutes. 60
You go for
minutes
the win.
gone. No, you don't. So
You
what?
need,
You
he needed to add.
replace
we
Jaffa
already had
Tanganga
enough.
with
We already had
Brian Hill.
enough
Is that what you do?
defensive
No.
players in that squad. He needed to add someone with a little bit of creativity and a
That's
little
what you
bit
want him to do, but that's
attack.
not
You're
what
gonna
a
play-
smart
you're gonna
coach
play
does.
In a lineup. You're going to play in a lineup with one fucking center back.
No, it's
Not one
ridiculous.
center back.
It's ridiculous.
But
What
that's
he
what you're
should've done
saying.
is-
That's what you're
No, no,
saying.
no.
If you don't
What he
bring
should've
Ben
done is-
Davies on,
What
that
he
means
should've
you're
done-
playing
no,
with
no, no.
one center back.
Listen. What he should have done is he should have pulled Hoiberg back with Rodon, or maybe have Hoiberg and Skip.
That's still one center back.
No. It doesn't matter, bro. When you have a red card, I mean, is Ben Davies really much better than Hoiberg at center back? Let's be real here. Come
Yes,
on
he
now,
is.
quit playing.
Well,
he's
I mean,
not.
he's
not.
I mean,
He's not.
he's at least played the position at international
Put
level.
Hoiberg back. You already have a defensive player. Put Hoiberg back. And then just fucking put him as
That's-
second player.
no,
and go
this
for
is
the
on
win.
Rant.
Marcelo,
That's
look,
what
you don't do
Pochettino
that.
did against
Hold
on.
Southampton,
do
and
that.
he won the game.
I got to
Well,
interject because I have
well,
other super
well,
chats and super stickers that I got to get to.
No.
So and
You
then
have
I'm going to give
at
my
0-0. When you go down to 10 men at 0-0, you hope and pray that you can hold on to the point that you currently have your hands on.
You're
And
never going to
that doesn't involve bringing on an attacking
You're
player
never going to hold
and
on to the
going
point.
for it.
We already lacked enough attacking
no.
threat.
We were holding
You
on to the
had
point
9
until
defenders
Tanganga got
on the
set
pitch.
off.
We needed someone that could threat them to relieve some press.
yes,
No,
before
we don't
the
have
red
any players
card,
up
not
front who can do that. All right, so Spandan Samarin also comes in. I think this one's directly at me. If Brian was $5 US, if Brian was to come on, why didn't he when we were 2-0 down? Wasn't intent post red card was to just hang on and not lose by a larger margin? I think that probably you have to understand that there were less than I think it was 5 minutes between the first goal and the second goal, right? So the penalty and then the second goal. Maybe 10 at the most. I don't know the exact number. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But it seemed like it wasn't that much longer.
It was 8 minutes, by the way.
8 minutes. Thank you. It was in between 5 and 10. So thank you. I appreciate it. The point there being that I think that he probably still would, at 1-0, he probably still would have made a substitution for Hill. But the way that Lucas and even Kane were getting manhandled in the back, it was a very physical game. What's the point in bringing on Brian Hill when you're 2-0 down? Who you're bringing off a more defensive player to add an attacking player when you're already, there's no opportunity for you to win the match at this point. You try to lock it down and save goal differential for future in the season. That's what a manager does who's trying to do in-game management. Like we can, as fans, we can want him to go out and try to get a goal, right? But that is not tactically what you do in football in a 38-match season. You have to understand, we're thinking of this today. Nuno has to think of it over the scope of the season, right? We all know how Liverpool got into the top 4 last season based on goal differential. Liverpool, having less outages and players that we had today, lost 1-0 to a relegated Fulham. So if we're going to blame Nuno, which I think that he deserves some blame because he is the manager, he could have made other choices. There were other possibilities. But he's only human. Even though his last name is the Holy Spirit, doesn't mean that he is. Right? And he has to make rational decisions based on the opportunities that happen. And I think it is unreasonable. I'm telling you
right now, Will, this man will not last.
You were big upping him like last week.
Okay, first off, I was just trying to be positive because people call me negative.
So you're lying then?
Yes. Yes, of course.
So in our big debate where you were all about this and that, you were just puffing hot air into the air just for the audience's pleasure. That's great.
You don't try to just be hopeful about things. So like, okay. So
I can show you streams on this channel from the middle of the window where you were telling Nuno was going to be a good option.
Let me explain myself. First off, I was no to Nuno. I wanted
no.
Yes, I was.
I have tape of you on this show in the summer window saying Nuno would be a positive benefit to the team.
No, I've just searched, Marcelo, I've just searched your Twitter handle with the hashtag no to Nuno, and there have been no results.
You better find that, bro, because I said no to Nuno before.
No,
and you can ask,
you did not.
No, you can ask Maddie Hayes. You can ask Maddie Hayes. I've said no to Nuno before.
Are you going to make me pull up the clip live on air?
You go ask Maddie Hayes. I've said no to Nuno before.
Oh.
It might have been on private channel. It might have been on something, but I've said no to Nuno before. I wanted Fonseca over Nuno, right? But the issue was we were so fucked, and I said it. We were so fucked because we had no manager who wanted to join us. And after the Fonseca debacle, I said Nuno is the better of a bad bunch. I said that, and that was my debate with Stelios. I said he's the best manager we can get right now. Didn't I not say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't mean I super.
But you were never like hashtag no to Nuno. You may have not been excited about it.
I was no to Nuno. You can act like when it was Fonseca and when it was Nuno, I wanted Fonseca over Nuno.
Nuno was no. That's not even a possibility because after Fonseca was the loser guy that everybody was like no to Gutesio or whatever the heck his name was. Nuno wasn't even an option when there was two options.
There was rumors about Nuno. There was rumors. I said I don't want Nuno and I don't want Gattuso. I don't want either of those. I wanted Fonseca. I want someone attack minded. I wanted Bielsa. I wanted someone attack-minded.
You did want to be.
I wanted the whole summer. You can find that too. But like, if a manager comes in, I want to hope. I want to see maybe he can change his style. Maybe he can play attacking football. Maybe he can do something, right? Like I want to hope. But bro, these 4 games, even the ones that we won, it didn't fill me with much hope. And I was telling David, I'm like, this is super negative football, man. I don't want to be watching this. This is boring, bro. This is boring to watch.
So you're saying the first 15 minutes of the game before Dyer went down, we weren't playing well?
No, we weren't.
I don't think anybody said that today.
Average since City, man. It's just it's the same thing. It's worse than Mourinho, really. We don't play with any flair, no creativity. We don't play with any courage.
Okay, let me ask you another question. It's kind of an analogy and a question all
Go
in
ahead.
one. If you're taking a dump and I don't give you toilet paper, will you get poop on your hands?
What?
If you're taking a shit
Okay.
and I don't give you toilet paper, how are you going to wipe your ass?
I don't know. Fucking take a shower or something, dude.
No, I mean, you're sitting on the toilet. You got to wipe your ass.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have toilet paper. Are you going to get shit on your hands, or are you just going to not wipe your ass?
I don't know. Like, fucking, I'll just use my underwear and go without fucking pants.
The
How
point
would
is,
that? You know what I would do?
The point is that
fulfill
without
the
the poop,
analogy.
the point, you're trying. Come on, dude. You're gonna wipe your butt and then go wash your hands off in the sink, right? That's what
I'm
you're
not
gonna
gonna
do.
do that. I'm gonna use my underwear, and I'm gonna adapt. I'm gonna find another way than getting my hands.
Use your
fucking
underpants
dirty.
and then throw them in the trash. But either way, you got shitty underpants, right? Right.
No, because I'll be cleaning with my underwear, and then
Yeah,
I
but
will
your
just
underpants are
go
still shitty. Then you got
without-
shitty underpants, right? You're getting
No,
shit on places the
because
shit's
I
not
will
supposed to be.
Cleaning the shit with my underwear, and then I will throw the underwear away.
Right, but your underpants are still
Yeah, but
shitty.
your
Then
underpants are still shitty.
Okay, but that's better than getting my hands fucking shitty.
okay, that's true, right? It's better than getting your hands shitty, right? But wouldn't the best possible option would be for somebody to give you toilet paper?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if Nuno is sitting down to take a shit, which is what our squad is, right? Even though everybody bigged it up, best transfer window ever, and
I said it was a 6 out of 10.
and Levy
Or 7.
Levy has not given him toilet paper, right? In order to solve the problem of the fact that he just took a shit. Right?
Yeah.
He came into a shit club or shit side with shit players, right? Which everybody was saying we were shit at the end of last season, right?
Yeah.
If nobody's giving him toilet paper, today he simply just used his underpants.
Listen, let me explain that. There was 3 other managers that I remember, or no, 2 other managers that I remember that were under the same circumstances. Harry Redknapp and Mauricio Pochettino. They both were fed shit. They both didn't have toilet papers, and they still both figured out a way to play attractive football. I can name many other managers who are under.
Mauricio Pochettino's first season was
Let me finish.
fun to watch.
I can name many other managers under the same circumstances who are fed shit, who don't get toilet paper, but yet they still can play attractive football. You don't need millions. You don't need to spend billions to play attractive football. Yes, you do need to spend a lot of money, and you do need to do smart business to win trophies. You do need to make smart business to reach a high level. Yes, I will agree with
like
that.
buying ready-made first-team players instead of
Yes.
people for the future. I
Of
agree.
course, that wins you trophies faster. Of course, I can agree with that. But you don't need billions. Pochettino,
I'm not saying you need billions. I'm saying you need first-team players.
Have proven that you don't need Bielsa. They all proven you don't need millions to play attractive football. All I care about, I said it, Will. You remember this summer, I said, I don't care about trophies. We're not going to win any trophies. Let's be real here. We don't have the squad. I don't really care about top 4. We're so far off top 4. You look at Liverpool, you look at Chelsea, you look at City, you look at United. They're well above us. Well above us. All I want is to enjoy the football, to wake up in the morning and see us at least smash a team like Crystal Palace, to play them around the park. We can't even play around the park against Watford. I'm getting bored of us playing against Watford. That is a crime. I want to enjoy the football again, man.
I just want to win matches, and the only reason why, look, if Dyer doesn't go off injured, or even if Tanganga doesn't go off with a red card, if Hill and Ndombele don't make an appearance in this game, I hold Nuno 100% responsible. I do. The only evidence that I have to support my position is the fact that Brian Hill was standing on the touchline at 53 minutes, according to the tweet from Ali Gold, right? Ready to come on, right? So the evidence that shows me that was Nuno's intent from the beginning is the simple fact that Hill was standing there. The red card from Tanganga changed everything. Right? It now caused him to have to buckle down,
It was
defend.
shit before
You put 8 men behind the ball with 1 man up top. You hope to hit somebody on the counter, right, to level out the game, especially after the penalty, right? I mean, that's what you do. That's how you manage a game, whether we like it or not, right?
But you know what you don't do? You don't start out negative and let all those things happen.
But you have to. You don't have a choice.
You don't have to start up negative.
I'm going to tell you why.
What was the score when Jaffa went off? What was
all
the
of that
score?
happened
What was the score when we
because
went down to 10
no,
men?
The
What was
only reason all of that happened was because he started out negative. And I know you said, Cody, oh, what was the score before we went down to 10 men? 0-0, right? But it was 0-0 and we were still getting battered. We had 1 shot on target. We weren't doing fuck all.
Right, why?
You knew
Why?
that game was going to change regardless, bro. You know what it should have been? If we should have been on the front foot from the fucking beginning. This is what
We were. The first 10 to 15 minutes looked like what we played, the way we played against City. What are you talking about?
We
what
weren't.
was the
It was
first half, though?
shit.
What happened after that? What
nothing.
changed the
What
dynamic?
chances did we create in the
Okay,
first
Eric
15
Dyer
minutes?
going off, but how does
Okay.
Eric Dyer going off affect
Let me
our
explain you.
midfield and the
Let me
ability
explain it to
break
you.
the press?
Let me
Okay.
explain it to you. With Joe Rodon coming in for Eric Dyer, who Joe Rodon, because of injury, had no preseason. He's played less than 5 minutes of actual match time since the end of back in April, right? He's played other than the Euros, he's played 5 minutes of actual match time. So because of that, Nuno then at that point is going to say, protect the back line, right? Dyer's out, Rodon's in, protect the back line. That's what we did. You could see. When did the press stop? When did the press stop?
No. You have a defensive mindset, Will. You just
I don't.
have a defensive,
Watch the match. When did the press
You know
stop?
what you do? You know what you do? If you are a true South American and you're blood hungry, you're a Bielsa, you're a Pochettino, you said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to
lose 5-1, and my goal differential is going to push me out of the top 10. That's exactly what would happen.
Okay, maybe I might lose 5-1, but I'm going to go out there to fucking with an intent to win. I want to see my team go out there with an intent to win. Guess what? We played it safe. We played it your way. We played it Nuno way, and we got fucked. We looked like shit. We lost 3-0 to an average side, and we didn't even look like we could compete with them, bro. We didn't create more than 2 chances for 90 minutes against Crystal Palace. That is disgusting. Disgusting.
You're being emotional.
I think this.
Yes.
I think
This is about going out there with an intent to win. There's nothing emotional about it.
You don't think that they started off the game? Hold on. You don't think that Nuno intended to win from the beginning of the match?
No, not with that one.
What evidence do you have to prove that?
Because he played Harry Winks as a number 10.
Okay, wait, hold on. How many people on all of YouTube punditry in our family have said that Harry Winks is not a defensive midfielder and he needs to be? If he played higher up the pitch, you'd probably see better results.
Nobody
said that.
Nobody in their right mind has said that.
No,
Nobody in their
said
right mind has said.
Tommy has said that.
No, that's hold on.
A lot of people have said that.
That's
No,
taking what
if
Stell
they
said
did,
out
they
of
don't know
context.
football.
That's taking what Stell said out of context. Stell said that when he was in the academy, he looked like a number 10. He had the skill set of a number 10.
He played number 10 in the academy.
And he
Not that he
played number
looked
10.
like that.
But once he came through into Pochettino's squad, then he started utilizing more of his like this Jorginho type, deep lying playmaker, which is not which obviously hasn't worked out for him.
No,
but it's
Winks
too late
is
now.
a piece of garbage and should have been moved on and or put in the U23 squad and not given a squad number. That's what should have happened, but that's not Nuno's choice. That is not Nuno's choice.
I guarantee you will. This guy does not last a year at Tottenham.
No.
This
Now?
guy is not a Tottenham manager. He will get sacked.
That very well could be the
This
case.
guy
But
is not a Tottenham manager. This guy does not play the way I want my football club
that's
playing.
ridiculous.
This
What
guy needs to
way
get the
do
fuck
we
out of my
play?
He's a
club.
Tottenham
He needs to
manager.
step down. Job is too big for him. Get someone with an actual intent to fucking win the game.
So he finished
Marcelo,
7th 2 years
I'm
in a
not
row,
gonna
and
say that.
a team finishing 7th is too big for him.
Marcelo, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying in terms of like, yes, Nuno doesn't fit the bill in terms of like the history of Tottenham Hotspur and wanting to play free-flowing attacking football. But what has playing that style of play netted us in the last 60 years? Hell, what has that style of play netted us in the last 30 years? Right? When will Tottenham fans take a serious introspective look at themselves and say that the results are more important than the process?
Let me ask you this,
What
Cody.
does it matter if we sat back and gave Palace too much respect if in the end we would have gone and taken the 3 points?
Let me
That's
ask
what
you
happened
this,
in
Cody.
the first three. That's
Let
what
me ask
happened
you
in
this,
the first
Cody.
three games, right?
No, great question. Great question. You know what? You know what the Hotspur way has gotten us, right? 26 trophies, right? It has gotten us 26 trophies. Playing the Hotspur way, playing the Tottenham football. It has gotten us close to many Premier League titles, and it has gotten us close to a Champions League. Yes, we didn't win them, but it got us close.
Close.
Right? No, but let me
Marcelo,
finish.
how many
Let me
FA
finish.
Cups
No,
have we
let me
won in the
finish.
last
Let me
30
finish.
years?
What did Jose Mourinho's football get us? Do you think
First
this
place for
football
3
is gonna
weeks in the
get
middle
us
of December.
anywhere? Do you think this football that we're playing right now is going to win us a trophy and get us anywhere near the top 4?
Honestly,
If you do,
as much as I
please.
hated Jose's football, he probably would have won us a League Cup had he been allowed to actually manage the game.
Not
Had he
probably.
been allowed to coach the game.
Not probably.
What? Oh, come on, Cody. We lost 1-0 with a shit
Not
team with
probably.
Ryan Mason.
Not probably. I'm sorry, you're using the word
What?
probably. You're trying to say that it was likely that we would have won the League Cup if we had not sacked Jose. That is not factually correct.
I think it would have given us a better chance than
yeah,
Ryan
better
Mason.
chance than what?
Okay,
so
fine.
with Ryan Mason in charge,
We'll
what,
never
we
know.
get,
It
like,
doesn't
1
matter.
in
We'll
20
never. I'm not
chance?
going to relitigate. I'm not going to relitigate it. We'll never know. The point is, this whole debate about the Tottenham way. Oh, the Tottenham. We got to play the Tottenham way, attacking football.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And oh no. Well, what has the Tottenham way gotten us? All right, that's all bullshit, guys.
The
we're
last
not
20
winning-
years, how many
listen,
cups has the Tottenham way gotten us?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
How many
Because we're not-
how many times have we won the league in the last 60 years?
You know what? None of that matters because ever since the Premier League era, we are no longer in competition to win the league. The stuff that happened under Pochettino, that was magic. It was magic.
But why
It
does
was
that
magic.
not matter in the
Let me ask you
context
this.
of this
Let
argument?
me ask you
why
this.
does that not matter?
No, I'll tell you why. Because Tottenham is not going to challenge for the Premier League. We're not going to challenge for the Champions League until we start spending like the clubs that do that. And we're not going to do that. So we need to get that out of our heads. The best we can hope for with this football club moving forward after the Pochettino era is maybe sneaking into top 4 and winning a domestic cup here and there. That's what our expectations should be. That's what our
Especially for a team.
expectations should be.
You know what teams, you know what type of club buys for the future exclusively or primarily? And by primarily, I mean buying more players for the future than they do players for the first team. Selling clubs. That's what we are. We're a selling club.
Yeah, that's what we were before Pochettino, and that's what we're going
And that's what we are
to
now.
be again. Yeah, that's what we're going to be again. We have to accept that what happened under Pochettino was catching lightning in a bottle, and it's not going to happen again. It's not just we're not going to have another manager who does what he did for us. It's just we have.
I don't think he could do what he did for us again.
Even if he came back, no, we couldn't because it was all the fact. It was just a matter of all these different things falling into place.
Yeah,
the
and
entire
Toby
organization,
and Belly.
the entire organization, top to bottom,
So,
pulling
but the
together.
original debate that was going on was what is more important, the way that we look doing it, or whether or not we get the result.
But
And
that's
to
a rhetorical question.
The result.
No,
the result
Cody,
is more important. It doesn't
Cody.
matter about the fucking process.
But the
You
thing
can
is,
sit there and say, Kyrian, you can sit there and say that it doesn't matter what we do, we won't win shit. Great argument. So what? If
But let me ask
you're
you
willing
this,
to
Cody.
accept that, that's fine. But I personally, as a Tottenham supporter, do not give a flying fuck how we win the FA Cup if we can win the FA
we're
Cup.
not going
That
to
is
win
the
Exactly.
point
the
that
FA
I'm
Cup
making.
playing that way.
You
Get
can't say
real.
that.
Can I say something? Let me say something.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm gonna go weavy. You guys continue.
It goes back to May when I did my first attempted recording stream when I talked about vision and philosophy.
Mari, can I interrupt you real quick because
Yeah.
I need to do this before they disappear. But so he said Span Dan Samran for $1.99. We appreciate that. Penn Lucky Free Kick and I forgot Cody can do this too. But Penn and Lucky Free Kick and 3-0 loss. Hard to argue, Marcelo. Gogama, big up to the panel. Dan THFC in with $1. Dan, if you have another comment, throw that in there, and Cody will bring it up. But if anybody wants to discuss this one while I'm off using the facilities, go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Let
Mark.
me ask you this, because this is the thing that keeps bringing up. Oh, I only care about result. I don't care about style of play and this and that. But then soon enough, I guarantee you, when we start going on a losing skid and it's unbearable to watch, and the same shit is happening with Mourinho, people start caring about the style of play. You know what? You start missing style of play. Style of play matters because guess what? When you have a style of play, you have a style and you have like a rhythm, and you actually win more games. If you look at Wenger, the same thing happened with Wenger and Arsenal. Arsenal were like, all we have is a style of play. Wenger just plays nice football. We want to win things. Let's get a serial winner, right? So they sacked Wenger, and then they got a guy, and Emery who's more defensive and all that stuff. And they were actually getting results. Remember, they went 20 games like unbeaten, right? Wasn't it 20 games? They went 20 games unbeaten, but then as soon as the football wasn't holding anymore, they start losing games and it becomes unbearable to watch. That is the issue. You cannot tell me, you cannot make that question, which one you prefer, winning or the style of play, when you're trying to make a point to defend Nuno, because the style of play that Nuno has is not going to win us anything. It's not going to get us top 4. It's not going to get us anywhere. The style of play is shit.
As I was trying to say before, what we were complaining about is regards who we're going to bring in as a coach. Are we going to bring in a coach that would be a win now, or would there be a philosophy? And where there's a confusion, even with hiring Paratici with our club, is that it's like a false camouflage that we have. So instead of not going, and I said this in the last stream, of not going for Ten Hag, we went with Nuno. Then going with Nuno is saying that we're going to win now, but then we went after players who would fit more of a Ten Hag, a beautiful style of playing football.
Fantastic football.
A beautiful style of playing football. And right now, we kind of have a civil war within the fan base, because for me, I want to win games, but then also too, I love getting the talent, the young talent, the stars and the gills, because when these guys pan out, they're gonna ball. But maybe they're playing for the wrong coach.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, right? Cody was trying to make a point about having a style, right? But name me a squad right now in the Premier League, or name me almost a squad in all of Europe that doesn't win trophies without having a unique style, without having some flair.
They have a philosophy. Liverpool has a philosophy.
Exactly.
Liverpool has it.
We need an identity.
Chelsea has it.
Identity. Leicester City has
But that's
an
the
identity.
thing. An identity
Okay.
doesn't have to mean attacking. It can be defensive. Burnley's identity is defensive. It's the worst.
So you want to
football-
play like Burnley?
No, let me fucking
Marcelo.
say what I'm saying. Burnley's identity is defensive, but that identity has kept them in the Premier League for like 10 seasons now.
Okay,
That's
so
the thing.
Marcelo,
It's not exactly about attacking. Defensive football is a fluid game. There are
What-
various elements to it.
Tottenham
It's
is
about
not a
we
defensive
establish
team.
some kind of we need to establish some kind of identity. And Maury, what you said about Nuno coming in, I disagree. I don't think he's a win now coach, and I don't think he's a build for the future coach either. I think Nuno is a caretaker who is here to sit here until Poch's contract with PSG runs out or he's fired, and then Daniel Levy can bring him back to Tottenham.
And you may be right.
I have a question. I have a question for Marcelo. Marcelo, I want to know how would you define Chelsea's style of play from last year?
How would I define Chelsea's style of play under Tuchel? Under Tuchel?
Yeah.
I would say he has a couple of different styles. I think when he plays inferior teams is keep the ball, keep it tidy, pass it, move it around fast, and he doesn't score a lot, Tuchel. He doesn't score a lot. He usually beats teams by 2-0, 1-0, but he breaks teams down with crisp passing and tiring them out and dominating them. Now, if it's against bigger clubs like City in the Champions League final, put them in the break.
Okay,
it was counter. It was always trying to look for that dead ball, trying to get the second ball, and trying to intercept.
Okay, so Chelsea are champions of Europe. All right. Who do you think was their leading goal scorer in the Premier League last year? And how many goals did he score?
I know it's Jorginho.
He was like Jorginho or something.
With 7 goals.
Yeah.
Right?
Because he utilizes his full squad. We don't have a manager that can do that. We don't have a manager that can utilize his full squad like Pochettino can.
We don't have Pochettino wasn't exactly a master of using the whole squad either.
Of course he was. He got the best out of Dele Alli. He got the best out of Eriksen. He had Eriksen scoring goals. He had Dele Alli scoring goals. He had Kane will always score goals. Son will always score goals. But he also had, even Lucas' best season was under Pochettino. Lucas scored like 12 goals that season. He was having a lot of people come and score goals.
Right. But my point is, Chelsea's style of play, as you described it, doesn't really suit Tottenham on any level, regardless of the squad.
Yeah, I'm not saying we should be like Chelsea, though.
Yes, but don't you want to win trophies, though? I don't want to reduce.
We're not going to win trophies with this squad.
I don't want to reduce that. I don't think that it's like a question of we should just do what Chelsea did, right?
Cody.
But the fact of the matter is, does it really matter how Chelsea did it?
No.
Why does it matter so much to Tottenham fans seemingly more than any other fan base in the league how we do something? And in fact, how we end up not doing something
because
Cody,
because we have a style of play to win trophies.
Because pre-Pochettino, that's all this club had.
Can I respond to Cody?
Yeah.
Because I know you guys didn't know me last season. I was actually on Cody's mentality because I was all in with Jose, but. If you're going to play that style, you had to go all in. And I said this, the worst thing, and I know I'll get vilified, the worst thing that happened was getting Gareth Bale over Skinner. And there are people that said that the reason that we didn't get Skinner is because we went after the wages, we went after Gareth Bale. And my beef with the Elenas and the other ones on YouTube was that we didn't truly back Jose. If you're gonna bring Jose and play that Chelsea style, because people say, it doesn't work. Atletico Madrid won La Liga. It does work. Atletico Madrid won La Liga. Chelsea has won, but the problem is we didn't proper back Jose. So now currently, right, the style that Nuno wants to really, really play, did we truly back him? Can we truly back him in this window? Or it takes 2 windows? We have an identity crisis. When it comes down to it, we have an identity crisis in what we want to. We hire Nuno because he was going to attack. Because he wanted to attack. And was convinced to Daniel Levy, okay, I'll take Nuno. But then again, Daniel Levy doesn't really shop because apparently Nuno wants a second striker. Well, Daniel Levy, you didn't get that second striker. You didn't get the creators that they wanted. So it starts from the top, and as I sit back, it's a one big fucking identity crisis.
Exactly.
It
You're
is.
exactly right, Mari. I mean, look, you go and you get Fabio Paratici, who's one of the best GMs in European football. But is he the guy for Tottenham? The guy who goes out and gets the big money signings, the big names on free contracts with huge wages? How does that fit our model? It doesn't at all. Yet we bring him in, and okay, now everybody's excited because, oh, look, this guy knows what he's doing, and blah, blah, blah. And don't get me wrong, I like Fabio Paratici. I think he's doing the best job he can, given his limitations.
Oh, Kyrian, negative Kyrian. Bringing the negative facts.
Yeah, but he wasn't right for the. He was never right for the club. He was never the right fit. Then okay, Fabio Paratici, after our 40 years wandering the desert trying to find a fucking manager, he goes and we finally arrive on Nuno. And one of the reasons we arrived on Nuno, and one of the reasons we also looked at guys like what's his name from the former Roma manager? Fonseca. Yeah. One of the reasons we looked at him is because Fabio wanted to bring in a manager who's going to play three at the back, because he realized, and rightly so, that our squad, our personnel that we have right now best fits the three at the back system. But Daniel Levy doesn't want us to play three at the back. Why? Because he thinks it's defensive, because he doesn't know a fucking thing about football and never has. So in order to get Nuno hired, Fabio Paratici had to show Daniel Levy footage of Nuno's Valencia team, who instead played a four at the back system, and to convince Daniel Levy that Nuno would be able to provide exciting attacking football.
Right, like I don't think that Nuno.
So now Nuno's here playing this four-back system, which is not necessarily the system he wants, I think, to play with Spurs. I don't think it's the system he intended us to play. And he's even said so far in post-match interviews that the squad is nowhere near playing the style that he wants them to play. He's already said that they haven't even come close to getting all of their ideas across to the team. And part of that has to do with him being hamstrung by Levy, and also being, coming into this team so late and having almost no preseason to work with them. So yeah. It's a perfect storm of just problem after problem. And then of course we go through the window. We don't get a backup striker again. We don't replace the goal output that Gareth Bale had last season. And so now we're looking at it. And it's, listen, I like Nuno. I think he's a decent manager. I think with time he might be able to get things in order here. I think that first 3 games was great, and I was proud of him for it. But I never thought that was an indication of how the rest of the season was going to go. And if anybody did, you're delusional. Okay, it was a hot start, big deal. It's a 38-game season plus all the other cup games. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a slog. And we'll be lucky if we do finish higher than we did last season. And if we do, we should be happy with that, because that's the situation we're in. It's not a good one. Like Mari said, we're having an identity crisis top to bottom. There is no cohesive idea of what Tottenham Hotspur Football Club is right now. If anybody can tell me, please, because I have no clue. And that's why
I want us to play attacking football again. We need to get our identity again. We need to stop thinking about trophies right now. We seriously need to stop.
Yeah, that's got to go out.
I don't care about trophies. I just want to win matches.
Achieve a trophy, and we don't have a squad to achieve top 4.
Do we have the squad to play attacking football?
But no, because playing attacking football is going to.
Yes or no? Do we have the squad to play attacking football?
We need to play attacking football again to get back our identity.
Do we have the squad to play attacking football?
We do. We do have the squad to play attacking football.
Please explain. Please elaborate.
Honestly,
demonstrate that. You want
to play attacking football? All you really need.
Pochettino played attacking football when he didn't have Son. Pochettino played attacking football when he didn't have Kane. Pochettino played attacking football regardless of when we didn't have players. He would go out there and set up to attack. Maybe sometimes it wasn't possession based. Maybe sometimes he tried to hit teams on the counter like he did against Dortmund, but it was with attacking intentions.
And you don't think that Nuno wants to score goals?
under Harry Redknapp. We had some very questionable, center backs at times, but he still played attacking football.
Is our current squad the quality of the squad that Pochettino had in his first season or that Harry Redknapp had during his career?
Okay,
so then how are you expecting him to have the same ability when our squad now is based off number 8s and number 6s with only 2 attacking players in the squad?
I'm not saying have the same ability as Spot. I'm not saying try to get, finish high on the table. We can finish mid-table. But as long we need to get in our identity back. We need to start playing attacking football again. We like for example, Martin Yule came in, right? Martin Yule came in, he finished mid-table, but he started a style at Tottenham. And you can ask David this. The whole Pochettino process, it didn't just start with Pochettino. It started from Martin Yule when he developed an identity, and then it built on with Harry Redknapp, and then it built on with Pochettino. It was a trickle-down effect. We don't have the squad to win trophies. We don't have the squad to achieve top 4 or even top 6. But what we need is to establish our attacking football identity back. Tottenham is an attacking football club. This is why I started supporting this club. This is the identity of the club. You cannot go against the identity of your club. It usually never succeeds.
And whose fault is it? Whose fault is it that we don't have the squad to play attacking football?
Daniel Levy.
Okay, so why are we hanging? Why is everyone? Hold on. Why are we bringing a noose out to hang Nuno over this one result when all he did was the best that he could with what he had?
Because he's been playing negative all season.
With what squad? With the same squad. Let me ask you another question. Hold on.
Players to play attacking football, man.
Is it up to him what players come in, or is it up to Paratici?
We don't know.
It's up to Paratici. No, he's the director of football. Paratici is the final. Stop. Paratici is the final decision, right before Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy is the ultimate decision. Paratici is the last decision. Nuno can only tell Paratici what he wants, but he has no choice in who comes in, who goes out of the club. That is up to Fabio Paratici, right? Fabio Paratici then has to get Daniel Levy's approval to sign off on the checks, right? Whether in or out, right? This is all based on Daniel Levy and Fabio Paratici. This is not Nuno's fault. Let me ask you another question. If Daniel Levy and Fabio Paratici, who are in charge of the players, right? The director of football is in charge of all footballing relations with players, right? If they did not allow those Argentinian players to go to Argentina to play, for Lo Celso playing 30 minutes and Romero playing 5 minutes in order to miss games, do we lose this game 3-0 today? Yes or no?
We could.
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
How do we know?
We could. It's possible, but what is the most likely scenario?
How many times did Nuno play Lo Celso when he was here before, right? He still wasn't playing more offensive guys. He still had Dele Alli, Skip.
No, Lo Celso played on the right.
He didn't
several
start.
times.
Yeah, but he came as a sub, though.
That's because we had Son, right? Son's out on an injury.
We still had a more defensive player
in
in Ali, right? And still more defensive players in Højbjerg and Skip.
If Son is out today, and he had those available players who decided to take a choice to go play with their international teams, which is fine if they want to go play for their international teams, but I'm just telling people what the matter of the facts are, right? If we had those players available to us today, does Nuno set up the way he did? Does Harry Winks start?
Could be, yeah.
It could be. What is the most likely scenario?
He wouldn't start.
Lo Celso plays in that spot.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I still think that Nuno he had some players in that team that could have improved the squad.
Yes, we can assume, we can make assumptions that these younger players are going to come on and play that way, but they are not proven. We do not watch their trainings day in and day out. We do not have the information that Nuno has available to him. Not only that, anytime that you're bringing in younger players, hold on, and this is the next question that I want to address for the whole panel too, so that we can continue the flow. It is not up to Nuno who the management, i.e. Fabio Paratici and Daniel Levy, the tools that he's not picking the tools. He's not going to a toolbox and choosing this, and this. He's given this, and that's his only options that he has. So if the established management of the club, being Fabio Paratici and Daniel Levy, and we can go around the panel and discuss this, right? According to those individuals who are making the decisions on who stays and who goes, Harry Winks is an established first team player, right? In the opinion of those people, right? Does it make sense to blame Nuno for utilizing the players that he has been provided with?
Absolutely, yes. Because he has access to years of footage to be able to go back and watch all of Harry Winks' performances over the last 3-4 years, and he knows exactly what he will get from him, which is nothing. But another thing, Will,
You know what
I think it's bullshit to assert that we don't have the players to play attacking football. Do you think our squad is better than Leeds squad in the championship 3 years ago before they got promoted?
Attacking wise, no.
Do you think? No, it doesn't matter. Do you think that we like player for player?
Why does that not matter? Player for player.
What do you mean?
First 11, our current first 11 now is not as a balance of an attacking team as Leeds is.
First 11. I'm talking about the entire squad.
I guarantee
players
you,
that Nuno has to pick from. Do you not think he could assemble? Do you not think he could assemble a team to play high pressing attacking football from the players that we have? Do you think that's really impossible?
With the players that we had today, yes.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe with the players that were available today,
that's what we're talking about, right? This result.
Yes, we were, but I thought like we had expanded this into a larger conversation about the entire season.
No, based on today's match, right? This is what people are blaming it.
I think he could have been more attacking than what he did. Yes, absolutely. He didn't have to set up with 3 defensive midfielders and
who else
hang
comes
on.
in?
Nobody.
Ndombele.
No, not Ndombele, because Ndombele's not fit and he's not ready to play.
He's never played a
match.
Listen, you play 3 or 5 at the back. You attack with width through your wing backs. You fire crosses into the box to try and get Kane its head on the ball. That's what you do. You press high, and every time they try to break out, you smother it, regain the ball, and cross again. That's what you do. That's what you do. When you don't have the players to play through midfield, you don't have that creative spark in the center of the pitch, you have to play wide. So we did have the players to be more attacking than we did today because we could have put 3 center backs out there, played with 2 wing backs, Reguilon and Emerson. Only you could have played either 3 in central midfield, Højbjerg, Skip, Dele Alli, and then you could have played Lucas and Kane up top, and then attack with width. There were options. Nuno chose not to take those options.
Okay, hold on. Let me
chose to play an extremely defensive lineup away to a poor team. Yes, a poor team. And
is Crystal Palace worse than Fulham? Is Crystal Palace worse than Fulham?
Well, no, because Fulham got relegated.
Okay, so what is your rationale with Liverpool, who has far more quality than we do in the attacking? It is a far more attacking team than we are.
Liverpool last season, who was going through a complete injury crisis.
They had a bad game.
And what was today? It wasn't a bad game. It was a run of losses and draws.
Hold on.
That Liverpool team had lost all their center backs. They had a midfielder playing at center back. It is not the same. It's not.
Hold on.
No. That was Klopp's decision. They had other center backs that they could have played.
Liverpool were drowned with injuries, right? No. Liverpool
what were we today?
Injuries, but guess what? Klopp never changed his attacking style despite it.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not. He still played attacking football. Yes, he lost a couple of matches because he played attacking football, but he still stuck with attacking football. He may have lost to Fulham, he may have lost to Burnley, but he still played attacking football against those teams. And if you remember those games, he could have easily scored against Burnley. He could have easily scored against Fulham. He created enough chances. He was just very, very unlucky. That sometimes happens in football. But
Everton 2-0, Leicester 3-1, Man City 4-1, Brighton 1-0.
But he still played attacking
Burnley
football.
1-0.
Yes, he lost games.
Southampton 1-0. Newcastle 0-0. West Brom 1-1.
Yeah, but guess what? He's still stuck with his philosophy, and that's why he still finished third.
His philosophy.
He's still stuck with his philosophy.
As stubborn as he is, he stuck to his philosophy.
He stuck with philosophy.
And what did Nuno do today?
And look,
he still got third.
What did Nuno do today?
Pep Guardiola sticks with
he
his
stuck
philosophy.
to his philosophy.
There you go, Mario.
No plan to attack, no plan to adjust.
It's not Nuno's philosophy because he already said the squad isn't even close to playing the style of football he wants to play. And if you look at, if we're supposed to model this 2021-22 Tottenham team is supposed to be modeled tactically after his 2014 Valencia team, which is the idea, I think, then no, we're not even close to that. We're not playing Nuno style. We're not playing his philosophy. The team isn't there yet. So he decided...
No, he stuck to his philosophy based on the squad that he has and where that squad is at. He played the same style of football that he has been playing for the last 3 matches. It worked well against City.
That's what I'm saying, Will.
It worked.
That the style of football we're playing is not Nuno's philosophy.
Exactly, but
it's
that's because why is that? Why is that not his philosophy?
Because he hasn't gotten it across yet. He hasn't had time
Exactly.
with the players.
So why are we already bringing out the news to draw him to a tree after 3 matches?
Look, I'm not bringing out the news. I just want people to know that I believe he's at fault today, and he should own that. I'm not saying I still back Nuno. I still back Nuno moving forward.
So who's the better? Hold on. Let me ask you guys another question. Okay. Who is a better team, Crystal Palace or PDF? And if we would have played the young guys that you guys are suggesting, what after the first leg PDF result, what makes you think that the Crystal Palace result would have been any different?
Honestly, if I'm going to be honest, no. Can I answer this? Had we played Brian Hill,
how is it not the same?
No.
Because you had Romero. Because you had Romero coming off an injury. Because you played Cameron Carter-Vickers, who should never even sniff that level of European football.
I would rather have Cameron Carter-Vickers play than Ben Davies.
He scored today.
God, come on,
Actually,
man. Ben Davies,
Carter-
No, 100 million %.
Cameron
Carter
Ben
Carter-Vickers
Davies. If I was manager of Tottenham Hotspur, Ben Davies' contract would have been torn up the first day I walked through the door.
I mean, okay, I agree, but like, really, you'd rather play CCV?
Yes.
He scored today.
Yes.
Oh my God.
He scored for Celtics today.
Yeah, he's found his level in the Scottish Premiership.
Oh, so did the striker who scored 2 goals against us today from City.
Yeah, well, that's why he got his move to the Premier League, right? And we should have been the ones to buy him because we needed a backup striker.
No, that's ridiculous. You guys are asking for those players now, John, right? Scarlett, Brian Hill with Ben Davies on the pitch, and look what happened at PDF. You cannot tell me with any logic whatsoever that you think that Crystal Palace is a worse squad than PDF. And we still
Honestly,
lost.
Crystal Palace they're not a good squad, Will. I think you're thinking of a squad. They haven't scored a single goal before they played us. They got lucky against
because
Brentford.
they were playing full straight sides.
They got held back against a championship level squad, man.
And they didn't even have
Eze.
Eze.
Not good. They're going to be in a relegation battle.
No,
Believe you me, Crystal Palace is
won't.
going to be in a relegation battle.
No, they won't.
They're an average squad. They're going to finish at least 15th. They're not going to finish higher than 15th this season. They are an average squad. This is going to be their biggest win of the season. I guarantee you that. This 3-0 is going to be their biggest win against any official top 6 club. Not even Arsenal is going to lose this bad to Crystal Palace. In fact, Arsenal probably going to beat them.
They have scored goals. Marcel, you're absolutely wrong. You're completely talking out of your ass right now, okay? They lost 3. Hold on. They lost 3-0 to Chelsea, who is the champions of Europe, who have had the best squad. They have currently probably, I think in my mind, a squad comparable to Chelsea. They lost 3-0 to. That's expected. Crystal Palace Brentford has been playing extremely well lately coming in. They drew with him 0-0. West Ham currently has a better squad than we do, and they drew with them 2-2. So for you to say that Crystal Palace is some garbage squad that's not able to take our C team and beat us 3-0 is absolutely ridiculous.
Crystal Palace is a garbage squad, and they're going to finish 15th, and you're going to see it by the end of the season. They're not a good squad. They're just a young group of players, and had we play Brian Hill and Ndombele, I guarantee you it would have been more competitive than the shit that Nuno set out. I guarantee you that. That shit that I saw today was absolutely garbage. This is going to be their biggest win of the season against any top 6 club. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you they won't be beating Leicester or Arsenal or any other team that way. I guarantee you that they won't.
Here's my thing. Brian Hill starting, probably not the right decision. But now you're down 1-0. with, let's say, 20 minutes to go, and you've got options like Brian Hill and Ndombele. Before the game, he said, "Oh, well, the thing to dare to do, I like it because to dare to do, and I want to dare to do." He didn't dare to bring on creative players and attacking players when we were 1-0 down with 20 minutes to go against Crystal Palace. Instead, he brings on Ben Davis, and we end up conceding 2 more goals.
No, Ben Davies came on. He was the one that caused the first goal, right? So you're missing the thing. Brian Hill was supposed to come on before Tanganga got red carded. He was standing on the touchline to come on.
Portugal tweeted that twice.
You can't start Brian Hill in this match. You just can't.
That's what I said.
Why not?
Bring him on as a sub.
Dele
was
Alli
going
did nothing in
to.
the same position. Dele Alli did absolutely nothing today. He was brutal. What is Brian Hill going to do? He can do equally as nothing.
My point is with Brian Hill, and I was saying this, looking at our injured report, that this is the perfect game to throw him in. Like, we have nothing to lose. As you can see, we put 3 defensive midfielders to start the game. Today would have been perfect to put Brian Hill in, to start him in. What do you have to lose? We don't have Bergwijn. We don't have Sonny. If there was a time, today would be it. Especially if the thinking was, okay, Crystal Palace will play kind of compact. All right, bring in more creativity. I can stand Brian Gill not getting any minutes if Bergwijn's available or Sonny's available. But once those 2 guys came out, which goes to show what Nuno thinks of Brian Gill and what everybody else thinks of Brian Gill. Because for me, I'm starting Brian Gill because there's no other option other than starting Winks, Højbjerg, and Skip. So I mean, if there was a time to put him in, it would have been today. But
And I hear you, Cody.
Yeah, no, I gotta go. I just want to say goodbye to everybody proper this time instead of just like drunkenly leaving the stream without saying anything and just. But listen, today was hugely disappointing, I think, for anyone who supports Tottenham Hotspur. But let's hope that today was not like a sign of things to come under Nuno.
It's going to get worse.
Well,
Let's hope not.
That's entirely possible. I don't deny that, but
He's going to be sacked by Christmas. He's not a Tottenham manager. He needs to get the fuck out of my football club. Get that negative shit out of my football
That is
club.
most certainly an extreme way to look at the situation, and I don't
From
blame
top
you.
of the league to Nuno out. There we go. Welcome to Tottenham
I never
Hotspur.
believed in the whole top of the league anyways. I only use that shit to banter Arsenal fans.
You were all over it, dude. We had this big whole debate, bro.
I know. I just did that shit so I could banter Arsenal fans because, I mean, who doesn't love bantering Arsenal fans?
Look,
I mean, come on now. We were top of the league and they were bottom of the league. I mean, come on. How many chances were we going to get to banter them over that?
Look, Marcelo, I'm not going to say that you're wrong because what you're saying is entirely possible. But I will say, I certainly do. I really do miss at times Marcelo, the hype man. Like it was nice.
Can't be hyped watching shit football every week, Cody.
I know, man. I'm right there with you. But yeah, hopefully everybody, let's just hope that today was an abomination that we can forget about and we don't have to put up with this kind of shit every week, because if we do, Marcelo's 100% correct. Nuno won't last past, I don't know, February at the latest. But
you should be sacked right now for that fucking lineup.
Yeah,
That's a little bit
agree to disagree.
I would have sacked them right. If I see that same,
I'm not going to listen because I'm leaving. But yeah, everybody
if we
say
go to Chelsea,
goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Peace out.
Cody. I love you.
Love
If
you
we
too,
go
man.
to Chelsea with that same negative lineup, and we go there with an intent to just hold on to a 0-0 and go there with a negative mindset that we're going to lose, and we bring in 3 holding midfielders and we're just all defense and pray and inshallah, I want him sacked at that tunnel. I don't want them to get out of second half. If we played
You're
another
ridiculous.
successful performance at home against Chelsea, and we go there with an intent to draw 0-0, I want them sacked in that tunnel.
You're
I want them out
ridiculous.
right.
If we go and do that against Chelsea, we
now.
lose 5-0.
I don't. If we go there with an attacking intent, and we go there to win, right, and we actually show fight, and we don't just fold over, and we lose 3-0.
Do the players that we have currently available, do they ever
I
show
would
fight?
be okay with it. But if we go there with a negative mindset and we just try to hold on to a 0-0, and let's say we give away a penalty in the 80th minute, right, and we lose 1-0, and we waste all that time, I want him gone. I want him sacked in that tunnel, right there and then. This guy is not a Tottenham manager, man. This guy is not a Spurs manager.
Even with a
out.
fully fit squad, even if everyone's available, which hopefully 2 or 3 of those players that are stuck in Croatia right now will be available. And but even with a fully fit squad, we would be lucky to beat Chelsea right now 1-0.
But no. Hold on, Will. No.
We'd be lucky to get a draw.
Will.
Win.
Where did I say? Where did I say
We'd be
when?
lucky to get a draw.
No. Hold on. When in my whole entire speech there did I say when?
So, but I'm telling you, if we open up,
when in that whole entire speech did I say when?
Marcelo, if we open up against Chelsea, we get battered at home.
But you still need, if we go in there with 3 DMs, we're gonna get battered regardless.
No, we won't. We'll lose 2 or 3-0.
We'll lose. Okay, so no, hold on a second. So you're just okay losing. You'd rather just lose 1-0 than try to win.
I
That's
would
the
rather
mentality.
lose
I'm
1-0
sorry,
than
that's the
5-0.
mentality.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I don't want that type of mentality. That's shit mentality. I'd rather us play some attacking players and
So
go
goal
there with an
goal
intent to
differential
win
isn't
and
important
lose
in the season.
3-0 than just having a mentality. Oh, let's try to hold on. 0-0, guys. Oh, we lose 1-0. Oh well, at least it was 1-0, right, guys? That's bullshit, man.
It's not bullshit.
I'm
Is
sorry.
is
I'd
goal
rather
differential
just
important in
I'd
the
rather just
scope of
not
the season?
watch the football game. Why watch the football game if that's how we're gonna go into games?
Because we have 38 games that we have to play.
Listen, Marcel, I agree with you today that we should have set up to attack, but Chelsea, we don't have a hope or a prayer.
I'm not
So there's no
saying
point. So
set
there
up
is no
just to
point to
attack.
try. Well, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. There's
I'm
no
just saying,
point to
don't
try and win
play-
the game because
Listen,
we can't. We simply
listen.
cannot.
The-
So, like,
if
there's
we
one
play-
thing about playing Crystal Palace, and Chelsea is a totally different scenario. And
If
I
we
agree
play-
with you.
if we play-
I want us to play attacking football like you do. I want us to rebuild our identity like you do. I want all those things too.
Oh
And we
my
should have played
God.
that way
You don't
today.
get it. You don't
You're
But
telling
against
me.
Chelsea,
You telling me.
get it.
You're
You know
telling
what,
me,
Marcelo?
Marcelo,
Because
we do get it. Listen to me,
You
Marcelo.
need regardless who you play, you still need to bring in attacking threat and having an
No, that's
intention
ridiculous,
to win.
Marcel.
It builds a poor mentality if you just go there with an intention to try to skin out a 0-0 or try to take a consolation loss of a 1-0. That's what builds a poor mentality.
No,
That
Marcelo, it
won't
doesn't.
get us
You're telling
anywhere
me that
this
you want to
season.
deal
That
with
is
Chelsea
shit.
fans after
We
losing
need-
5-0 at home?
We need to build a balanced team where we have balanced defenders, but we also need to have enough attacking threat where we have intentions to win.
So then
what
why
need
did
to
we
do.
sign a bunch of
Whether we
young
win or
players for the
not, it
future that
doesn't
are
matter.
worthless to us now?
See, that mentality is just wrong, man. We
It's
can't
not
play,
wrong.
If we play 3 holding midfielders and we lose 1-0, that doesn't change the fact. Like it's still a loss. We still have to go out there with an
How many
intention to
attacking
win.
midfielders does Liverpool play?
I'm sorry?
How many attacking midfielders does Liverpool play?
Liverpool,
Attacking in general
but
or
the
more
thing
attacking
is,
than us? 'Cause they're all more
Liverpool
attacking than
has a
anyone we have.
specific philosophy where they have not holding midfielders, central midfielders, but their central midfielders are all skilled passers and can make through passes and can make and be creative and stretch out defenses. And the whole point of their midfield is to get to the ball to the wing backs, which is Trent and Robbo.
Okay.
And then they get the ball to them, and then their fullbacks and their wing and their wingers stretch out the defense and they score.
And
But
that's exactly what
their
we should
central
be doing.
midfield,
Is attacking through width, since we don't have creativity in the central midfield. Liverpool lacks creativity in their central midfield, so they get creativity from their fullbacks.
I don't know.
That's
about
what we should be setting up to do.
What makes
But
what
that's not
makes,
what Nuno's doing.
Hold on.
And
hold
I don't
on.
understand it because
he doesn't have the players. What does he have? What does he have? What causes?
Does he have two
hold on.
attacking
Let
fullbacks?
me.
Yes. Does
He
he have
does now.
attacking wide players? Yes.
No,
Does
he
have a-
doesn't. Name
You know
a
who
right
else doesn't have
winger
to
who
play-
can do what Mohamed Salah does. Name one that we have that can do what Mohamed Salah does.
I can
Name one.
I can name one that does something.
Son is not a right winger. He's our left winger. So if Son's playing on the right,
no,
name
you
another
asked him-
player who can do
you
what
asked
Sadio
him- no, no,
Mane does.
You asked him if he can do what Mohamed Salah can do. Yes, he can do that.
No.
He
Okay.
can,
So
he can stretch out the
Son,
field,
hold
he
on.
can
Stop.
score
I'm
amazing
not-
Hold on.
goals.
Stop. Son is Sane. Okay. Okay. Sadio Mane. Right. That is Son. Who do we have on the right that equals Mohamed Salah?
Son can also play on the right. He
I'm not
played on the
saying
right
we need
against.
to play
So Son can play on the left and the right at the same time? Does that fucking make sense?
I'm
No,
not
he
saying
can
backup
play on the
striker,
right.
don't
He
forget
can
about
play
that. He's
Gil
also the backup
on the
This is
left.
It's a pointless exercise to try to.
It's not
compare ourselves-
pointless.
It is to try and compare ourselves to Liverpool. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that at Wolves, Nuno played and attacked through his.
And who
wide
did Nuno
players.
have on
We
the
can do
left
that.
and the right? Who did Nuno have on the left and the right?
So he had Neto, who's a young player, and okay, so Son is better than Neto. Yes,
Sure.
okay. And then he had Adama Traore. Do we have an Adama Traore? No, but we have Bergwijn who can do some of the things he does.
No,
we
not
have
even
Lucas,
close.
Who can? Well,
Not
no,
even
not
close.
at the same level. Not at the same level. No.
So then we don't have
that
him.
player. So, well, what the fuck are we supposed to do then? We can't build through the middle.
What
we
Nuno's
can't build
doing?
through the wide players. Sit back and do nothing.
No.
Sit back and do nothing.
How do you guys expect Nuno to do what Nuno did at Wolves when he doesn't even
I
have the
don't- I hope
toilet
he doesn't
paper
do
that
what
he
he
had
did
at
at
Wolves?
Will, let me put this into
I hope he
perspective.
He's wiping his
what he
ass
did
with
at
his
Wolves.
underwear right now.
Let
That's what
me
he's
put this.
doing.
Let me
I
put this
just
into
don't- I-
perspective to you, little. You know who else doesn't have the players? Arteta.
Yeah, and they're at the bottom
So
of the
are the
table.
Arsenal fans that say Arteta out wrong?
Is it Arteta's fault? No, it's the board's fault for who they're bringing in.
So they should keep
Arteta has better attacking players than we do.
So no, but should they
Exactly.
keep Arteta? So you don't think a better manager with more of an attacking, like,
Nope.
okay? So no. Let me ask you this, Will. Let me ask you this. Do you think if we got an attacking manager like a Bielsa, who's an attacking mastermind, do you not think he can make us attack better?
Nope.
than Nuno
Do
is
we have the
right
attacking
now?
quality that Leeds does right now?
Yes, he does.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Oh
We
my
have Son
God.
and Kane. We have
These
Son
are
and Kane.
average.
Do we have the
These are
balance? Hold on.
average.
You guys
Well, he needs
aren't.
to find the balance. He
you
needs
are
to create
not-
the balance.
You can't
He needs
find
to
balance and create balance if you don't have the players to create balance.
fucking coach the
Oh,
players. This is his
You can
job.
still
You cannot
Develop-
coach.
Still coach the players.
Hold on.
Come
You
man.
cannot improve elite athletes at this level by margins that are required. You're thinking that Nuno, if he's a good coach, could turn Lucas Moura into Mohamed Salah? That's
not what I'm
absurd.
fucking saying. You can get him to work it within a specific system where you're taking advantage of
What
the players
system?
that you do have. Hopefully,
Why is Nuno playing a 4-3-3 because that's what he wants to play, or because Daniel Levy's making him?
I think it's
We
because
don't know.
I think he's playing four at the back because Daniel Levy has pressure
Okay.
on him.
So
to
in
play
any
a
four at the back system, any four in the back system, do we have players to
Well, he should
initialize
say,
the
"Fuck
attack?
Daniel
Hold on.
Levy and play a
Hold
three at the
on.
back until he gets fired.
Yeah, and then he gets
Come
fired.
on.
Okay,
Well, whatever.
listen.
Have the fucking balls to do what you think is right for the team.
That's
Like-
what Pochettino
Listen,
did.
Yeah,
listen.
that's what
Pochettino, when he
Pochettino-
first came in.
It's not what Pochettino did.
Yes, that's exactly what he did. When
Who's been backed
Pochettino
better?
first came in,
Who is backed
Daniel
better?
Levy- hold on. When Pochettino first came in, Daniel Levy wanted him to play certain players, but Pochettino told Daniel Levy that he will not play them because he doesn't fit his team. And Pochettino stuck to it, and we had a horrendous first season under Pochettino. It was very up and down and inconsistent, but Pochettino built his style of play. He built his own team.
In how many
his
years?
Philosophy, and
That
then
was in
he
1
got
year.
on.
He's talking
That was
about our
his
first
first year.
season.
His first season,
And he made the Europa League.
We finished fifth, and then, but because he stuck to his guns, he stuck to his philosophy, and he stuck to his principles, we were able to build on from then.
And that squad we had that season is worse than the squad we have now.
That's debatable.
We had an Adebayor who couldn't give a
Terrible
shit.
players.
We had Harry Kane, who was still very
kid.
young.
Yeah.
We didn't have almost our I mean, we only had Vertonghen, who was really any good.
Who left?
Vertonghen and
Kid.
Danny Rose, who were any good. But I mean, even then Dembele was not a good midfielder. Pochettino made him to a good midfielder. Pochettino made Dembele. Even Pochettino said it. If he got Dembele, who was younger, he would have made him to the best midfielder in the world. Pochettino made Dembele. Pochettino worked.
Pochettino did not make Dembele or
yes,
Dembele.
He did. Dembele was not that
Dembele
good.
was nowhere near as
before
good.
Pochettino.
But Dembele was not the midfielder he was.
So you're telling me that Pochettino made the player that if you ask any player at Tottenham at the time that played with him who the best player on the squad was, you're telling me that Pochettino is solely responsible for the fact that Dembele was the most technical and the best player on the team.
Yes, because Pochettino found
That's
the
absurd.
right position and
solely
played to his strength and built on it.
Helped
Yes.
him realize his potential. Coaches
He
have an
realized his
ability to do
potential.
that.
Are you crazy?
When they find where they can fit within the system.
And what player has Nuno not made better so far this season?
Fucking no one.
No, I can't take that. He did make Dyer and Sanchez, especially Dyer.
Yes.
And for the first time, I thought I would never say this. I was gutted when Dyer left the field, and
Dele Alli is playing better than he ever has in the last 3 years.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
No, that's true.
He's running harder and he's trying harder. He's not,
but he doesn't do anything.
Production is not very
In the
good.
last 3 years? Hold on. I said in the last 3 years.
I don't think he's. I don't think he's actually providing anything for the club better than he has. I just think
He hasn't been playing better this year than he did last year?
I think it's
He's
pretty
played
much the
better.
same. He's both.
2 years in
No, he's been far better defensively. Did you see that block today?
He is playing with
Came
more
back from
intensity.
nowhere, out of nowhere, from halfway up the field, comes in and blocks a shot in the box. Come on now. Dele Alli last season never does that.
Dele Alli's playing harder. He's definitely playing harder. Creativity, like he had his brother.
4 years ago? Never.
Never, yeah. But he has played better than last year. I would give you that.
And the year before that?
Yeah. But what?
No, the year
bar
before that,
the
he was
injuries.
playing better. When Jose Mourinho first came in, Dele Alli
He
was
had
playing
like a
better
2 or
back
3
then.
game run and then
It
dropped
wasn't
off
2 or
again at
3
the end of the
games.
season.
It was more of like a 2-month run.
Isn't it only
But
a
it was still
2-game run now?
What do you know?
I'm not going to give Dele Alli all the respect because of what he's doing on the defensive side of the pitch. When you're still losing the
More
ball,
defensive. Yeah.
you're still not doing what a
I
midfielder
agree.
does. You're not able to hold on possession of the ball. You're not able
Absolutely.
to push the team up the pitch. We give you the ball in the midfield. You quickly find the pass and you quickly progress the ball. Just because you're making a tackle in our own box and you're making a
Whoa,
slide tackle,
I got to
all of
stop you
sudden
because
that
this is
means
a
you're
big
having
one.
good game?
I got to
That
stop you
doesn't
though, Abdul, because this is a big one. This is a big one. So
Yeah, no
Spurs
worries, no
72,
worries.
thank you very much. Will and crew, hello, great debate, guys. The passion is on full display. Have a good night. He's got to go out. I'll let you continue, but it sounds like he's heading out because it's late. So Spurs 72, thank you for the super chat and thanks for watching the show. All of us on panel appreciate all the people in chat. So we appreciate you and thank you very much.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like what I was saying, like I don't think Dele Alli has had a great game. I don't think he's had a good game in these. Yeah, he's made some defensive contribution. He's running a lot, as you can see by the amount of
He never
kilometers
improved them
that
technically.
he ranks up.
He didn't improve them
Yeah.
technically, though. That's what Pochettino used to do with players, though. That's a different Pochettino.
How do you know Nuno's not going to improve anyone technically?
He hasn't. And
not
even
true.
with Eric Dyer, Eric Dyer was just doing the same thing he was doing under Mourinho, just ticking along. I will say this: he improved Davison Sanchez passing a little bit, but Eric Dyer, he just kept doing what Mourinho told him to do, just shoot it long. Eric Dyer did not do anything but Eric Dyer would do. I guarantee you, after 10 games, this whole Eric Dyer,
I don't disagree with you. In fact, I agree with you on that point, Marcel. I agree.
Improve Eric Dyer.
I agree with you on that point, Marcel. I agree with you on that point. Like I said on Mari's stream, I come from Missouri, and in Missouri we have a saying: you can put a pig in a dress, but eventually it's going to go out in the yard and roll around the mud, right? So it's I agree with you 100%. But what I'm saying is that Nuno did not only not have a full preseason, right? Jose Mourinho and after the restart, even before the restart and after the restart, didn't look like he improved anyone. After he had a full preseason, it looked like at the beginning of last year, except for the first 2 matches, obviously. But after the first 2 matches till December, it looked like we had a pretty decent squad. We were on top of the league for multiple weeks, almost a whole month. People were happy, singing Nuno's praises. Trust, in Jose we trust, right? Both me, Marcelo, you, me, and David were all on, all on the stream doing the dance, doing all those things. And then eventually the pigs started rolling around in the mud and the wheels fell off, right? And so I don't disagree with you. My point is that everybody during this transfer window was hyping this up. Let them cook. The Don Paratici, all these great signings. And who was the person who was sitting here with the voice of ring saying that the shit is going to hit the fan? It was me. I called this. You guys think that these players are going to... You're putting this expectation on players who cannot meet your expectation. You're going to be disappointed. This is not Nuno's fault. This is Daniel Levy and Paratici's fault.
No. But you're a man who speaks facts, right? No, hold on. You're a man who speaks facts, right? Mm-hmm. How do you say these players wouldn't have improved us when he didn't even...
Did they improve us against PDF?
No. When he didn't even play them. You know what is factual, actually, Will? Mm-hmm. Is that if you play Harry Winks, you're more likely to lose. That is factual. And that's what Nuno did. Yeah. Instead of taking the gamble with Brian Gill...
It is the show me state. But we have multiple sayings in Missouri.
Of where you play Harry Winks with 3 holding midfielders, you're more likely to lose. When was the last time, Will, we won a game with Harry Winks, Dele Alli playing in the midfield?
Ryan Mason last season.
I can't remember.
Ryan Mason at the end of last season, we won
against who?
4 out of 6 games.
Against who?
Leicester.
Yeah, but I think we had Bale. The difference there was Bale.
Of course. Why? Because he's a right winger. What have I been saying that we need this whole time?
No, but I'm telling you, when was the last? I can't remember the last time where we had to depend on Dele Alli and Winks, and we won a game. I can't remember the last time.
Never.
The last time we did that was against Dynamo Zagreb, and I'm pretty sure we lost 3-0.
I mean, we did beat teams under Ryan Mason with both of them on the pitch. Just to be fair, but no, I agree with you. Look, you're talking to Will here. Do you think Will thinks that Dele Alli and Harry Winks should be starting for Tottenham Hotspur? Fuck no.
But how can you say, like, oh, you hyped up these transfer, players?
Because you did.
No. I know I did. But how can you say you hyped up these transfer windows, but they're not going to really improve the team when, in fact, they actually haven't even been given a chance?
Did they play against all of those players?
Hold on. Emerson played today.
Mm-hmm.
Romero,
and he was shit.
Romero is in Croatia because he was
shit. Come on, as an attacking. Hold on, I got to bring this. This is the next topic of the show anyway. Emerson. Right? Emerson Royale, the new Royal at Tottenham Hotspur that everybody said was the next wonder kid. And the only person who didn't was this guy right here.
You're talking about a future Brazilian national team starter there, buddy.
Yeah, okay.
You're talking about a future national team Brazil starter there, buddy.
Homer.
Emerson, Emerson, I'll say one thing. 2 things. Emerson and Reguilon, I felt bad for them because they had that midfield.
Hell yes, we did.
Not serving them, and so when they went up on the attack, it was useless. It was pretty much useless.
Emerson was getting into attacking positions, but we had negative setup. When you set up negative and your attacking players are going to look like shit. Harry Kane looked like shit today. Because we set up negative.
Yeah, no, Marcelo, stop. Marcelo, stop. Hold on. No. I got to address this, and I have to ask you a question. Your eyes are the ones that never lie, right? So when Emerson in the second half, I want to say it was probably around the 62nd minute. I'm just guessing based on watching the game. Emerson is 1-on-1 with their fullback, stops and plays the ball straight back.
Yeah,
Why?
he made a mistake.
Fuck, that's not a mistake.
No, that's
Chicken shit.
yeah.
One-on-one with the fullback.
He's a fullback.
One-on-one. One man to beat to get wide and allow to be able to cross the ball into the right. He turns around and plays the ball straight back. With Harry Kane making a run. Now hold this fuck on. Harry Kane making a run into the box towards the far post, and he plays the ball straight back. Like a big chicken because he couldn't beat the man one-on-one. That right there sent me into a rage that if I was on a watch-along would have been clipped for an eternity.
So you get mad. No, hold on. You get mad at that, but you don't get mad at Nuno for playing 3 holding midfielders and starting up negative.
Did he? If he had a choice? No, look.
Attack. So you don't get mad at that.
If Nuno had a choice, hold on. I'll answer your question. I'll answer your question fairly. If Nuno had a choice, right, to play players that he didn't have to play, yes, I would be furious at Nuno. I've already said that at least 3 or 4 times this stream, right? But Emerson, in that moment right there, was absolutely toothless. Not only that, but any time he got within touch tight to Zaha or any other Crystal Palace player on the far left, he got his ass turned over like a McGriddle on Saturday morning.
Yeah, and we've seen... No, hold on a second. We've seen many defenders come into the Premier League and they struggled their first season. Regulon had moments where he's gotten grilled. It's the Premier League. It's a tough season to adapt. I've always he's always gonna have a tough time adapting to his first season. But the thing is, this is one game where he played in a negative setup, where we were basically toothless, where we had no leaders on the pitch. It's his first game for Spurs, and he had no one to look
Kane
for
isn't a leader.
For attack. No, hold on. He had no one to look for in the midfield, and he had no one to look for in the attack.
Kane was in the box when he played the ball back.
That's one instance.
That's one
You're bringing up
scenario,
one instance. I'm talking about
The most
whole
obvious
fucking
one.
game. A game is 90 fucking minutes. Not one instance.
Look, if this was like, if it was like he was in a tight position, there were 2 or 3 people that he had to play, and he's facing the direction in which he's playing the ball back, I would understand. He was driving one-on-one against their fullback, stops, does a little tap-tap, right? A little croqueta back and forth, turns around and plays the ball back when Kane is in the box. I'm sorry, even if it was my own kid, he would get in the car and I'd be like, what the fuck were you doing?
Son has done that. Son has passed back in positions where
not in a one-on-one.
Every attacking player has
not
done
in a
that.
one-on-one.
That's stupid.
Not in a one-on-one.
Yes, Sonny has passed back one-on-one. Every player has passed back one-on-one.
No, Marcel, not with a player making a run into the box.
Not
with a player making a run into the box.
Oh my God! Yes,
No!
That's happened many times.
Show me an instance. You're asserting that. It's happened a lot of times. Show me. Send me a clip. DM me.
I don't have it right now, but I'm sure I can find you a clip where someone is running into the box and they decide to pass back. That happens.
Isn't that the problem?
That's one instance in the game. That's not why we lost the fucking game, Will. The reason why we lost the fucking game.
I'm not. Did I say? Hold on. No, that's a straw man. That's a straw man. You're arguing against the argument I made. Did I say no?
Straw man. You're picking one instance from a 90-minute game, and you're not adding.
No,
context.
that's not the only instance that I based my opinion on. It was his entire performance through the match. Name one thing Emerson did good today.
No, he had a horrible game.
Name one. No, I can tell you multiple instances. Hold on. Stop. You said that I'm taking one piece out of 90 minutes to form my opinion, which is absolutely untrue because I said every time he got touch tight, he got turned over. He never made an attacking run that ended in any type of cross.
He did get a corner.
Oh, so he got a corner.
Which Harry Winks took the corner.
Got a corner.
He got a corner.
Okay, but okay. No, hold on.
We gotta look at the scope of the game. Even Alsto Gold said this on a tweet. The movement of the midfield affects sometimes what the fullbacks do, and so it dictates.
And by the way, for people that don't know, I need to clarify this for the audience because like, oh, you got a 6. That's decent. No, 6 is the minimum score you can get on SofaScore. By the way, 6.
If
Yeah.
SofaScore matters.
No, he had a bad
Yeah.
game. Nobody is disagreeing with you.
You gotta look
But
at the
it
movement.
wasn't. It wasn't.
He was
entirely his
Superman,
fault.
Marcelo. You said he was Superman.
You
I
got,
never
but
said he. I said he is a great young talent, which he still is.
no, you
Great
but,
young talents have bad games. Son
Did-
had a bad game when he first entered the Premier League. That's you're chatting shit now, Will. You're
But
just
no,
chatting shit.
the thing is, you have to look at there's a key component that you're missing, and this is why some people wanted Gil to be able to play. The movement of what your teammate does affects spacing and affects
100%.
ability. And the problem is, our midfield today was so bad. I'm not even talking about defenders because I think it was they were okay. I mean, just mishaps that happened in regards with the red card and what's what, minus Davies. But with everything else, the midfield was just so bad. And like I said, maybe Skip was hurt because he was bad.
Mario,
And
I don't disagree with you, right? I don't disagree with you. I agree with you 100%, right? That your teammates' movement impacts how you play. If that same situation was on and Emerson's making a run one-on-one and there's nobody to play the ball into, no problem, right? Then you play it back. That's a smart thing to do, right? When you have Harry Kane who is making a run just outside in between the two center backs or just on the outside shoulder of the left.
I remember
their right center back, right?
I questioned it too. I was like, "Oh man, you could have
play a cross in, even if it doesn't connect. You play, you attempt. Yeah, you make an attempt, right?
Yeah.
If he comes up and he's one-on-one, if Everest comes up one-on-one and there's nobody there, right? He turns around, he plays the ball back. I understand.
Yeah.
That's perfectly normal, right?
Yeah, you attempt to win the game, right, Will Stewart? You attempt to win the game, right?
What are you
Just
talking
like
about?
how you set up the game. You attempt to win the game, right? That's why you cross. That's why you play attacking
because
players.
that's how you play
because
football.
You want to attempt to win the game. This is my whole fucking point. When you set up negative, no, I'm telling you, when you set up your team negative, it just brings a negative outcome to your players. When
So you're telling me that Harry Kane is one-on-one with the goal. Hold on. No, this is your logic, Marcelo. Harry Kane is one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and because we set up negative, he turns around and plays the ball back to Højbjerg. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a much different circumstances than crossing a ball, Will Stewart.
How?
You fucking know it.
How?
Because one-on-one with a goalkeeper, everybody.
What's a fullback's job?
Shot. That's ridiculous.
What's a fullback's job?
That's ridiculous.
What's a fullback's job?
Crossing the ball.
Okay, so why didn't he do it?
Defending. Yes, I understand. And he should have crossed the ball. But crossing the ball is not the same as a one-on-one chance. That is bullshit comparison.
For a striker, for a fullback, when you're one-on-one with their fullback, and all you have to do is take a touch to the right and take it to the byline and cross the ball in, right? I'm not saying he has to beat their entire defense. I'm saying he has to beat that one man to get around him and take a cross into the box when somebody's making a run in. That's all he has to do. What he didn't do is beat that one man. When you're comparing the two positions, it's equivalent. A striker's job is to beat the keeper and score. A right back's job is to beat the right back and put a cross into the box. It is analogous.
Let's shit on the kid who made his debut, who had already a defensive setup, clueless fucking manager with negative.
Yeah, because those are two are connected. Those two are connected.
Our energy on
your point is that Emerson didn't cross that ball in because Nuno set up defensively. That's your point, and you're wrong.
We are set up defensively, and when you set up defensively in negative, it sometimes affects players. It sometimes
you got boxing gloves, Mar?
Oh yeah.
Even Reguilon sometimes would make questionable decisions.
Sure.
He's an attacking left back.
That's not my point. I'm not saying you make one mistake, you were bad. He was bad the whole game.
No, he was bad the whole game. But we also saw under Reguilon, under Mourinho, have woeful games.
No, Reguilon came in blazing. His premiere was an absolutely amazing performance.
It was, but we also saw some shocking games under Mourinho with Reguilon.
That wasn't until after he was injured.
Yeah,
it wasn't until after he came back from injury.
And it was 5 or 6 games in a row, and that was it. At the tail end of the season, Reguilon was Reguilon again.
Oh man!
He actually got an assist one assist in the last 2 matches of the season.
But he had games where he was woeful.
Yeah, after he got injured.
No. Whenever we set up very negatively, he did not look very good. He did not play very good.
I think Brian
Right.
C's got a great point. We were forced defensively, not set up defensively.
How were we not set up defensively? 3 holding midfielders. Are you having a fucking
I
laugh?
disagree with that.
Fuck
We
off.
absolutely
Bullshit.
did set up defensively.
Who plays in that midfield other than the people he started?
And Dumbelly.
No,
You can't start Ndombele
Why
today.
not?
Ndombele. He's not fit. He's not fit.
How is he
So
not
take him
fit?
off halftime.
He's not
then.
match
Because
fit.
he's not fit.
He had to be on the bench. There's no one else to put on the bench.
He's
Who
not.
else are you going to put on the bench?
He hasn't
Name
played
one.
any matches.
Hold on.
He's not
Stop.
match fit.
I don't care about whether he was on the bench or not. He should have started. He's a better option than Winks, whether he's
But he's
match
not
fit or
match.
not.
He hasn't played a match so far.
Ever.
He's not match. He would have been
So
out
what?
there and he would have been gassed by halftime. He would have been absolutely gassed. You would have to take him off at halftime.
And put Winks back on
You can-
anyway.
You can roll your eyes, but how many times did Mourinho have to take him off in the 60th minute last
how many
season
times
because
did
he
Mourinho
was
have
always
to do that? 'Cause
gassed?
that's what he did. Versus
No, listen, this is-
after
this
he
is-
had to
That's
come off.
because Ndombele was limping around the field by halftime because he was gassed.
Chuck and win. I'm going to tell you
It's
right now
true.
what I think
I would
based
rather
on
have him the first 50 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now what I think that Nuno's plan was today, based on his Gill substitution that he didn't get to make. My idea is that he started those players in order to try to gain control of the match, right? Soak up pressure, and then bring on Ndombele and Hill in the second half in order to impact the game. That you could see by the way that he set up the team and the selections that he made, that was what his intention was. He never got a chance to do it because of Dyer getting injured and Tanganga getting a red card. But what I've seen right now, for me, going forward, Tanganga, first choice right back for me all the way.
Absolutely.
There's no one else right now. I mean, that guy's an absolute boss. He's a boss mentality-wise, defensively, and even attacking-wise. You can't tell me, well, I guess it's possible, but I've never seen Tanganga go one-on-one with a right back and not try to go to the byline and cross the ball into the box.
He always
I've
makes
never
an
seen
effort.
that.
Always makes an effort.
Let me throw this at you. Could it possibly work if we have Tanganga in a setting back 3 with
Yes,
Romero
we should be playing
and
3 at the
Tapia?
back.
Yeah.
100%. We
and
should be
Emerson-
playing 3 in the back.
And Emerson irregular,
Well,
set him
then-
loose. Set him
So
loose.
now you're saying we should be play. So
No.
Nuno had no choice to set up the way he did to
Why
today.
we
We should be playing 3 in the back.
Stop.
Personnel, yeah.
No, it's not even personnel. Even with the personnel, we should have been playing.
Get you there, Will.
What we should be playing right now is a 3 at the back. 100%. I agree.
Yes.
Why is Nuno playing 4 at the back? Because he wants
He's
to?
a spineless fucking idiot who doesn't know how to play football.
No, because he has to.
No, because he's a fucking clown.
No,
No.
he can't. He can play 3 at the back.
When
He
Romero
can play
comes
3 at
back,
the
that
back.
would be the test. Because
What is Daniel Levy
If
going to
Romero
fire?
plays back and he doesn't play 3 at the back, you know
if
the
we
fucking
keep winning
joke and you need
games,
to
is
leave.
Daniel Levy going to fire him for playing 3 at the back if
Yes.
we're winning?
No,
I
he
don't think
won't.
so. I don't think
He
so.
won't. What did he
But
do?
then why
What
did
did
he
he
take
do?
the
What
draw?
did he do in the tunnel after we won a match? What did he do? To a manager who called him out. What did he do? Remind me.
He wouldn't fire him, Will.
No,
We
what
talked about
we got the
did
results,
What did
he wouldn't
Levy
fire
do to Joel? What did he do?
No, he fired Marignon. Yes,
At when? When did
At
he do it?
halftime, yeah.
at
At
halftime.
halftime.
Right. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he called him
Because
out.
they
Because he
Yeah.
called him out. So you're telling me that if that Daniel Levy, who fired Martial at halftime, a manager who was probably the most successful manager that we had in a long time at that point, right? The most successful at that point in time, that he wouldn't fire Nuno at halftime for going against his wishes?
No, because
I'm sorry.
no,
That's
because
absurd.
because calling him out, because calling someone out is very different than saying, "Look, I'm going to play my tactics." That's what Pochettino did. Pochettino didn't call out Levy. He just said, "Look, I'm going to stick to my football. You can have
Yeah.
your suggestions. I'm sticking to my football." That's what
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
That's what he did in his first season. He didn't listen to Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy wanted him to play all those other deadwoods because they were the bigger stars. He wanted to play Adebayor. He wanted to play all these other players. Pochettino said, "No, fuck that. I'm not playing any of them because I don't want them in my team."
Yol got fired because he called him out in the press.
Yeah,
As long as
calling
Nuno,
someone
as long
out
as, yeah,
is
as long,
different.
as long as
You call
Nuno
out
doesn't say
any-
anything in the press, it doesn't matter. He
Yeah,
can-
you call out any of the chairmans, you're gonna get sacked. But if you go against the chairman's wishes on how you play football, you're not going to get sacked as long as you get the results. Now, if Nuno did play 3 in the back, and then he lost games, then yeah, he might get sacked. It might propel him to get sacked sooner than later.
It may be
Yeah,
our best
but
option
not because
going
he should
forward.
be. 100%, it's our best
It could be
option. I've been
sacked.
saying this.
Oh,
Have I
yeah.
not been saying this all summer
Yeah.
long? That we should be
Yeah.
playing 3 at the back?
Yeah.
Have I not been saying that?
As have I.
Yeah.
As have I. Yes.
Yeah.
All
exactly.
summer
it
long.
suits our
Today,
squad.
today was crying out for a 3-5-2.
You know, Will, also, Pochettino played 3 in the back against Dortmund in the Champions League. Pochettino has played 3 in the back before.
Okay.
It's not something new.
It's not, I'm
So
not
it's
saying-
not like something like Daniel Levy has really strong against. We can still play attacking football with 3 in
Not
the back.
true.
There's many teams that play attacking football by playing 3 in the back.
Marcelo,
Yeah.
Marcelo, who was do you remember who my first Spurs shirt, whose name I had on the back of my first Spurs shirt ever was?
I don't know.
It was Dele Alli.
Yeah.
Did I not call Dele Alli last season when he was absolute shit?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. I did. I called him out. I'm not a person. I am not a person.
Anything about 3
No.
in the back.
Oh, he's
No, it's not about
responding
3
to this
pack.
comment.
I'm
He's
responding
this
to John
comment.
Fitzpatrick
Oh.
here. Just because Will wanted Nuno, he will never admit to what he really sees Nuno is and over his head, and time will show. That's not true. Okay? I call it as it is. Right? You can disagree with me or not. Like I said today, if Dyer never gets injured and Nuno continued playing that middle 3 that he had today for the whole game, we would have lost, and I would have been fucking livid, and you would see me in here screaming at Nuno like he did. I have patience and grace for Nuno because based on the situation of 3 players disobeying the club's orders to go play for their countries and getting screwed, Son getting injured, Bergwijn getting injured, Skip getting injured, and probably wasn't even 100% today, but he played him anyway. Why? Because he was better than any of the other players we had. And then all he had left was Winks, right? That's all he had left, who was ready to start. Okay, Tanguy and Ndombele, Brian Hill comes on at halftime or in the second half to impact the game, give us a little bit more creativity, move the ball a little bit forward, right? Now, Thursday night, if Tanguy and Ndombele and Brian Hill don't get minutes, you will watch me on this show, and I'll be cussing out Nuno Espirito Santo just like everybody else. So for people to say that I have a bias is absolutely absurd. I don't. I've called out, Marcelo knows very well, Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, all of my favorite players in the club. When they play like shit, I say they play like shit.
No, we don't call out.
I will say this. I'll say this.
To be called out.
When November
I never called out Sonny.
when
I
November
always call out. I call you if
I don't
you're
call
shit.
out
I call
Sonny.
you a shit. Even if it's not permanent
I
shit.
don't call out Son ever. He's
Yeah,
I
my
do.
boy.
when November comes around, and if we have our ultimate wish, everybody is fit, then the team should be 3 at the back, Romero right smack in the middle, Sanchez and Tanganga,
Dyer.
and then Dyer, Reguilon, Emerson, midfield, Hoiberg, either the winner of Lo Celso or Ndombele.
You know
And
what?
then- and
Actually,
then Lucas-
don't count out Rodon because Rodon actually looked good.
Yeah,
When he
He was
came
decent
in.
today. I said that on Mari's show. Did I
Yeah.
not?
He actually looked really
It was
good.
decent. And
He
then
probably should have started over
Lucas,
Tanganga.
Kane, and Son. If it's not that, at least similar to that in November, because the back 4 is not going to work if we're not going to get creativity in the middle. We need to have those guys advancing forward, Emerson and Reguilon.
we need width. Absolutely.
If I'm playing, I would prefer a 3-4-3. I would prefer a 3-4-3. If we do a 3-5-2, it would be Son and Kane up top. Lucas wouldn't even make it in the side. It would be Ndombele and Dele Alli playing in front of Højbjerg in that middle 3 with Reguilon and Emerson on the right. If we're playing a 3-4-3 against teams that have a little bit more of attacking prowess, I would go with Højbjerg and Skip in the midfield, and then it would be Son, Kane, and Lucas on the right. Those are the 2 formations I played, and that's how I'd set it up. I mean, the center backs are all the same. It's going to be Romero, Dyer, Sanchez right now.
Yeah.
Rodon rotating in on the left, Tanganga rotating in on the right for Sanchez to rotate people in and out, or Rodin pulling in for Romero for a match, for Thursday matches. I don't want to see us playing 4 at the back for the rest of the season. Personally, I would rather switch between a 3-4-3 and a 3-5-2. That's what I would like. I'm not the manager. I'm sure, to be honest with you, that Nuno is probably walking in. He probably walked into Daniel Levy's office after the fact and said, "I fucking told you so."
Yeah.
Or at least Paratici's office and said, "I fucking told you so." Why do you think he was pushing so hard to get Traore into the club? Why was he pushing to go get Neto? Because he knew that's the style that he wants to play with the squad that we have, but he's being forced to do something that he doesn't want to do, and I don't think it's fair to crucify him when the real culprits, the ultimate cause of today's loss, is Daniel Levy and Fabio Paratici. And now, if only Fabio Paratici, because he's the one that actually has to go out and try to convince Daniel Levy on what to do. I don't even blame Paratici as much as I blame Daniel Levy. He's a goat. He's a snake. He's an absolute horrible owner and a chairman, and he is the ultimate cause for that loss today. And to blame anyone else for doing what the best that they could, I think is absolutely absurd. And that's the only reason why that I have the attitude that I have tonight.
See, I think you can say everything you said. I agree with everything you said about them, and also say that Nuno made some bad choices. I think that I don't know why it has to be just one or the other. I think that for me, this game showed that our transfer window and everything was bad. I agree with you 100%. But I also think that, thinking that Nuno could have made better choices.
Of course, hindsight, you could always make better choices.
I don't know
look, even if Ndombele had some time. Okay, Marcelo, say your outro. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I just have to wake up soon. Will, it's always been great.
Yeah, I love you.
Everybody, Karen, Mari. Didn't get your new name, guy by my side.
Abdul.
Abdul.
Yeah.
Oh no, not Abdul. The other one. I know
Scott.
I know you, Abdul.
Scott.
Good meeting
Scott
you
M.
all.
He's Scott M in the chat.
Alrighty. Good seeing you all, and it was awesome. Will, love debating you, you fucking stubborn bastard.
I love debating you, you stubborn bastard.
Fuck Nuno out. Fuck this negative football. Get Pochettino back. Get Bielsa back. I want to watch enjoyable football. Yeah. Bye-bye. Come on, you Spurs.
Until 2 weeks later when we beat Arsenal. Yeah,
we're not beating Arsenal.
I've been on all day. I got to wake up in the morning. I'm out, guys. And come on, you Spurs. I know it was bad, but...
Promote your channel too before you go. Don't just say goodnight and not go away like you did last time.
Yes. Thank you. I seem to forget it. Close to 100. You can find me at Mari at that Spurs episode. Subscribe and like. I have 2 shows on the recap, which is on game day of the Premier League, and I have the Spurs Love Lounge, which is on Wednesday nights at 6 on American time, 11 o'clock. UK time. And thank you, Will, for having me on. And
before you go, there's 59 of you watching right now, and if you're not subscribed to Mari, how dare you? And it's simply because of the fact, look, there are a lot of YouTube channels out here, and some of them, to be frankly honest, are not entertaining, and Mari's show is always entertaining. So you are missing out on some great entertainment. The Wednesday night show is an absolute blast. It's banter, it's tomfoolery, it's debauchery, it's all of those things wrapped into one. and then his after show, you're getting the fresh rage, right? So my show is the boiled up rage, the simmered rage, right? His show is the fresh rage, so it can even be more rageful than this one. But make sure you do go ahead and subscribe to Mari. But Mari, the only advice is, man, your channel name is so damn long.
Yeah, I know. I have to change it. Someone told me that, and I am on the works of changing it. It's too long.
Yeah, I mean, just because like typing it in, it's hard to search, right? Or you got to make sure that there's a key phrase in there that you promote, that when people search like that it pops up. So like mine's long too. Will Stewart THFC Rants, but you don't have to do that. You can just put Will Stewart. You can put THFC Rants. You can put either of those things, and it pops up, right?
Yeah.
So, but Gogama has thrown the link into the chat. Thank you very much, Gogama Nim, for throwing the link in there for Mari's channel. We appreciate that, Gogama. I was gonna do that. You're on top of it as a mod. That's why you are one. And
I will say this, because I gave shout out to you my very first stream, just to you, Bob, Mr. K. Thank you guys for doing what you do. We look at you guys as the vets in the game, and so just thank you oh so much for this opportunity, for the tutelage, and so yeah, no, thank you.
yes, that's right. That's right. Reload marinated rage.
Yeah,
marinated rage on this.
Perfect.
Marinate.
Marinates all day long, and then it just explodes. But no, guys, John Patrick's just subbed. Thank you, John. I'm telling you, it's a great show. It's Gogama said she just subbed too. She says I'm a new subscriber. I'm really enjoying the channel. But yeah, I mean it's a great show. It's a great channel, and believe it or not, I want there to be like we've got. I think before me there was maybe 2 or 3 American Spurs channels, and that was it. That was all that I could find anyway, searching on YouTube. Now we got Kieran, we got Dan THFC, we got Mari over here, and I hope that there's 5 or 6 or 100 or 200. There's no reason why we can't spread this love all across the great United States. Canada needs to step up their game. Right now it's just Tottenham on tour, but that's a great channel as well. But the rest of Canada needs to step up their game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, look at you two. Get to it.
I agree.
You two down there. It's weird. It's like reversed. We got all the Americans on the top and the Canadians on the bottom. Like what?
Where they belong.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
We get to hear about it all day from the Brits because their girl won the tennis today. Now we get it from you guys.
Oh, man.
Canadians, women.
All right, guys. Love you guys.
Take it easy, Mari.
Love you too.
Have a good
night.
Okay, take it easy, bro. Peace.
I have to say that marinated rage, that bit, like that was so perfect, man. Because I have just been stewing in it all day. I'm sure you could tell. Like I came on pretty hot. I feel like I'm usually, I have my moments, but I feel like I'm usually pretty like level-headed. But oh man, today I came on fire, and I feel like throughout the course of the show I've kind of settled down a little bit. But yeah, I was pissed. Today's result absolutely sent me.
That always tends to be I think the case on this channel, right? We come on here, we yell at each other, get our rage out, but by the end of the show, it's like you're just kind of, right? You can go about your week without being depressed. You know what I mean?
Therapy,
a little bit of therapy. But
today's performance is one of like we usually have these types of performances like once a year, like once every season. I mean, like you can like I remember like. Maybe it was last year where we lost like 3-1 or 3-0 to Sheffield United. And like the year before that, when like right before Pochettino got sacked, we lost 3-0 to Brighton. And these type of like historically bad performances, and we hope that it's just like a one-off. Obviously, the injuries and the circumstances played a massive role in it, but we just have to hope that, I just hope that this team, this Tottenham squad, and they know that they're not that good. They definitely need to train hard, and they need to approach every game with 110% effort. And it doesn't matter what team you come up against. At the end of the day, it's still a Premier League side.
yeah, but
it's the best league. So
I agree. But for me too, and this is another. I can't believe I'm the positive one tonight. It's difficult for me. I'm not used to this. If we were going to lose a match ridiculously, right? Game week 4 is a far better than game week 24. You know what I mean? So the key to see how Nuno is going to impact the squad is how is he going to get the squad to rally forward? And do we see us maybe end up getting a draw against City or against Chelsea when this, shouldn't have been, we should be actually be getting our butts kicked? Do we see ourselves Thursday night and going out and away and winning a match here? Do we see a positive response, right? Do we see this positivity that's coming out of New? I mean, I don't know if people like read bits of Dele Alli's interview here where he said even under Pochettino and Jose, it was all about the opposition. What we should, what they're going to do, what they're going to do. But Nuno's been focused on what we should do, what we need to do, focusing on us and us getting better and us doing the things that we're supposed to do. And that being a breath of fresh air. I don't know if people saw that or not, but these are the kind of things that I think we don't need to jump the gun yet. Because trust me, when the wheels finally do fall off the bus, if that's what it is, if it really is Nuno's fault, eventually the truth is going to work itself to the top, right? Right? The cream is going to rise to the top. So what is the real problem? Like, even Jose at the end of last season, even me who supported Jose for the entire year, I didn't want Jose Mourinho when we got signed to the club. I didn't want him. After what happened at Man United, I didn't want him at anywhere near our club. But the results and the way that we were playing and all that stuff, it seemed to be okay moving forward. In the first half of the season, I got on board. I started supporting him. And then the truth came out. My initial fears from the beginning of the season ended up revealing themselves in the end of the season. And even then, I was blaming Daniel Levy far more than I was blaming Jose Mourinho, simply in the way that he was sacked. But and the players themselves, I think that our squad is so poor. But I do have one final question. It doesn't need a lot of time, but it's just a good topic to maybe kind of discuss before we wrap this puppy up. But if even City was missing 7 players in the result that they had today, do you think that they beat Crystal Palace?
Oh yeah, it's City. Because I do think the way City plays is that they have a next man up, like
7 men though.
Depends on who those 7
City
are.
is they're like
7 starters.
The New England Patriots. They just have like a next man up, like when one guy goes down, but they have a general approach. They study and then they train a certain type of way to play. Then they're the way they break down teams. Well, it's not going to be as fluid, but like the way they play. Sometimes you see them. They play with these young academy players. Like they play with a couple of academy players against Leicester City in the final. And even though they did lose with a bad mistake from Nathan Ake, but I mean those.
But
players
I think
those kids slot right in, and then they look proper.
Brian's right. I think Brian's right. Right, their excuse for losing to us the first match of the season is that they were in the same shape that we were. And Zaha today was causing problems. Gallagher today was probably having one of the best matches of his life. That new guy comes on and scores 2 goals that, by the way, weren't flukes. Both of those he earned, right? So I don't necessarily think the City does beat Crystal Palace today if they were in the same situation that we are.
Let's talk about it, right? So seven player first team players, not 7 starters, because we were missing 7 first team players. We're missing 3 starters. We were missing Son, Sanchez, and Son, Sanchez, and
Bergwijn maybe.
Bergwijn.
Who you think
Yeah,
starts between him and
Bergwijn.
Mora?
So those are the 3 players. So equivalent for City, let's say they're missing Sterling for Son. Let's say for Sanchez they're missing Diaz, and then for Bergwijn, say they're missing. I don't want to say they're missing Grealish.
I mean, they have a bigger squad.
Maybe
though.
like
This doesn't-
that's
I don't think
the thing.
they don't have
like,
as much
even-
depth in center backs. Hold on, right now I can
But
tell you right
even-
now we
but
were
even
missing
the
more center
squad-
backs than they even
The
have.
squad they played against us in the first game of the season with all those injuries, even the squad they had would still have been like the 2nd or 3rd most valuable squad in the Premier League.
Right, but that wasn't near as in bad of shape that we were in today. Not only were we missing 3 starters, we were also missing the next 3 in line for filling that position, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that we were just missing 3 starters. We were only missing 3 starters, but we were also missing the 3 people who would have come in to fill in for those individuals, right?
Which is why we should have been on the front foot from the beginning and tried to score as many as quickly as possible and then sit back and hold the lead, which is what we should have done instead of
I think that was the plan up until Dyer got injured.
No, that wasn't the plan. I think the plan was what you said earlier, is that he wanted to hold on, and in the second half bring on impact players to try and nick a goal and get out of there.
But we were pressing up until Dyer got injured.
I mean, yeah, true. True. I mean, I guess we were to a degree. I mean,
Far more than we were after he got injured.
It's hard to tell because he went off in like the 12th minute. Like that's not a lot of football to really be able to see if that was how we were going to play.
Seriously, I've watched it back
forward.
today. It's the great thing about having a Peacock subscription. I can watch all the games back. We were pressing. Dele Alli, Kane, and Moore were pressing, actively pressing. They may not have been running around like on fire, but they were actively pressing. After the Dyer injury happens, you can immediately see that maybe Kane would go out and put a little bit pressure on one center back. Then Ali, after the ball was played left, would go up and kind of just press a little bit, lightly press. Get within a meter and a half from him.
Well, even if that's the case, I still disagree. Just because Dyer goes down, you bring in the center back. You got to keep playing your game. You can't just capitulate to the opposition because you've lost one player. And that's what you do. What they did, we gave the game to Crystal Palace for them to dictate play because we lost one player to injury, and you just can't do that. You just can't do it. And
you were only missing one player. How is that even possible?
No, that's wrong. That's wrong. But I still don't think that just because Dyer goes down, then all of a sudden, we need to back off the press. We need to try and keep it together. Have some faith. Have some faith in Joe Rodon. Keep playing your game. Don't let Palace dictate the game because you had an injury. That's something out of your control. What you can control. Exactly.
What is the argument here? That's exactly what I said.
That's what we're saying. Yeah. So
that's what I said. No, we didn't press up until Dyer got injured. We only pressed for 10 minutes, even though Dyer got injured after 10.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, but still, why is that changing your approach? Because Dyer got injured.
Yeah,
is Dyer this since when is Dyer
who's captain? Who's captain after? Who's the vice captain on the squad? Dyer's, whether we like Dyer or not, right? He's more developed. He's older. He's stronger than Joe Rodon is, right? Joe Rodon's been injured. He wasn't part of the squad in preseason for training. Then he went to the Euros. Then he came back, late. They, hasn't played or done anything. So you have this person. If you're a first team player and you've been playing with Dyer all season,
wasn't he just playing for Wales in the international break?
Like 5 minutes. He got 5 minutes.
I don't think, he didn't play. He was on the bench.
He didn't play at all.
No, he didn't play. He didn't play.
If he did play, it was like 5 minutes at the end of a match that they were already, either losing or winning.
I know he didn't start for sure.
Yeah.
But okay, I get it. Yeah. Dyer is I guess he's.
But it's not. It's the confidence, right? It's the confidence, right? Does Joe Rodon add confidence to your team? I can tell you, not like with my kid, even at the youth level, right? When one of your players who normally starts, my son's a starter for his team normally. When one of the good kids would get hurt, or they couldn't come to the match because they were injured, or they got a red card or something like that, the team's performance the next week was down. Why? Because they have somebody, even if they're, they practice and train with them every day, who doesn't fill them with confidence, right? One of the main key things about chemistry is being able to have confidence in your teammates that they're going to do what they're supposed to do. When that confidence is lost, you start doing crap you're not supposed to do. You start making mistakes. You stop going forward. Why? If I go too far forward, is Joe going to be able to handle it, right?
Well, then that's a coaching problem because they need.
It's not a coach. It's a psychological issue with players.
Then that's a problem that the coaching staff, a psychological issue that they need to be able to address because you need to have faith in every member of your squad to do their job. So you can focus on doing your job. Well, he's been here for a season already,
but he hasn't played. That's what I'm saying. They have to be getting game time. One of the reasons why Pep.
He stepped in some big games. His first start was against Chelsea, which was a really big game, and he did reasonably well.
What is the reason that Pep Guardiola gives for why he rotates players as much as he does?
I don't know.
To build chemistry through both the first and the second stream, right? That's why he rotates. Like, City is a great team, but it's a FPL manager's worst nightmare. Why? Because you don't know if Diaz, Laporte, or I can't remember the other guy's name off the top of my head right now, are even going to John Stones, are even going to, who's going to play? You don't know, right? You don't know Torres going to play? Is Maro's going to play? Right? I think the only person who's locked into that side when he's fit is Kevin De Bruyne. That's it.
Yeah.
Sterling's not locked in, right? It could be Foden one time. It could be, there's nobody on that team who is locked in, week out. He rotates it around all the time so that the players have confidence in each other, right? And so that the whole team has chemistry. Unfortunately, we don't have the depth that they do. We don't have that luxury. And it shows. Anytime that we're missing people, right? We come out of City and then go into PDF, right? And get battered after making those changes. Right? That doesn't fill a team with confidence.
Right? I mean, a lot of teams don't do that. Liverpool doesn't do that, and they still got top 4. I mean, a lot of teams don't.
That's because the quality they have in the front and the back is incredible.
I don't know. I think those players need to focus on doing their jobs first before they worry about who's behind them. Honestly, I think that's what today showed us. Like, you need to worry about doing your job first before you worry about trying to cover for the other guy. Do your job. And that's the problem. A lot of players didn't. I mean, even though I completely disagree with how Nuno set up the team, his tactics, his plan for this match, players also didn't do their jobs. And that's the first thing.
Right. But this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, right? So, especially when Ben Davies comes on the pitch and even having Winks play, right? I can guarantee you that Højbjerg, as soon as he, Nuno posts the team sheet,
if that's the case,
like, hold on, watch.
Walk to the manager's room and be like, I don't think he should play. Nobody likes it when he plays. We're uncomfortable with him on the field. I mean, there needs to be somebody needs to just come out and be honest, because, like, I don't know we don't know. Obviously, we don't know what's happening at the training ground. We don't know what's happening in the dressing room. But there's just all this weird drama about if you don't play this guy, or if you play this guy, or these players have these sort of feeling towards this other player, or whatever. Like, it's bullshit. You're professional footballers. Go out and do your fucking job. And if somebody's not performing, then have the balls to go to the manager and be like, he's not playing well. He needs to stop. We don't want him to play. Like,
but how many times when Højbjerg had bad games last season, what was the reason? Because he was having to cover for Harry Winks, right? If you ever watch Harry Winks when he plays as number 8, he never gets touch tight. He never presses a player.
Yes, absolutely.
Anytime somebody's making a run in behind, he just runs alongside of them, right?
So Højbjerg should go to the manager and be like, "Why? I don't want to play alongside Harry."
But that's what I'm saying. He didn't play Harry Winks because he wanted to.
Well, again, this is the whole point, and I understand what you said. There's no guarantee that young players will do better, but there is one guarantee that young players will do this, and that's fucking run. Young players will run.
I don't think Harry Winks' running was an issue today.
It is an issue because, like you said, he never tries to get close to his defenders. He jogs around the pitch. He jumps out of the way of tackles. Young players will not do that because they want to get in the team. They will try to seize their chance. Will they make mistakes? Sure, but at least they're going to give some kind of effort.
Have you rewatched Tanganga's red card?
No, I didn't.
Why did Tanganga have to run into the middle of the park and put in a tackle on it?
Yeah, it was probably Harry Winks. I'm sure he just
left his mark.
Left his mark. He always does it. He hides underneath other players. He'll drift in and then drift back out. He constantly does it. And this is what I'm saying. It's like Nuno knows this. He, at least if he doesn't, I'd be absolutely, just gobsmacked if he didn't know, because this is a guy. He has all the film on Harry Winks going back as long as he's been at the club. He has to know what kind of player he is. He has to know he's a liability. And the fact that he either didn't do enough to address that or plays him anyway, I mean, I just don't understand how giving a young player a chance over him is not better, because you know what you're getting from Harry Winks, which is fuck all. But at least from a young player, it's kind of a gamble, but you might get more. It's just, why would you take the known quantity, the known negative, over a potential positive? I don't get that. I just don't get
guys, Scott, you got any thoughts?
I think what you're saying makes sense for this one game. For me, my concerns are that this, to me, like what I saw today, wasn't any different from what I've seen in the other 3 games. I thought we've been poor in all the 3 games. So for me, this is an ongoing issue. So everything you did explains this game, but it doesn't explain our lack of creativity before this. It doesn't explain all the issues that I've seen. So that's what I'm struggling with this. Is
And I hear you. I agree. Like
for me, like this is more of a broad sense. Like I don't know, maybe it sounds like I'm negative. Like I wasn't overly upset at Nuno, and maybe it came across because he kind of get lumped in right with everybody who.
No, I don't think you were
him,
criticizing him today, though.
So like
huh?
I think, like I said, I do think the biggest takeaway from this game is I agree. It's the transfer. The squad is the biggest issue. I agree with you. We don't have enough attacking players for him to choose from.
Yeah. So
for me, I think that's a problem, but I also think it's a problem the way that Nuno has dealt with that being an issue. I don't agree with it. But
like, do you think if we had spent like, say, I don't know, 30 million pounds on Leon Bailey today, that he doesn't start like Ryan Hill?
Yeah, Bailey, or who we were linked with, Marcus Thuram. I don't know, somebody, right?
But that's what I'm saying, right? So what I'm saying is if we would have bought players who are first team ready, right? Even if they weren't as high a quality as Brian Hill's potential could be, we wouldn't have been in the situation today that we were. That's my point, right?
Yep, I know. I agree. We needed somebody on the right wing with a goal scoring ability. I would say more so than even Traore. I wish we had another goal scoring threat on the right wing, and I think we also need a goal scoring threat on the bench. But we don't have it. Traore, wasn't my favorite guy. I would have taken him only because it gives us a different option, so that when our main attack, when Kane and Son aren't working, or aren't perfect on their game, Traore might not be great, but he gives us another option so that we aren't so limited in our attack. And I think we're very limited in our attack, and I don't think Nuno, compared to some other managers that we see, is great at creating options himself as well. So
I think people even forget that Ryan Sessegnon was out too. So I mean, there's a lot of people out today, an absolute ton. Abdul, your final thoughts, my friend?
Terrible performance. Again, no creativity in the midfield. You just gotta hope that our players can recover and can play well in the upcoming game. Thursday we have Rennes, I think, or whatever. So we have somebody in the Conference League. So I better see Tanguy and Ndombele, because I don't think I'm gonna see Tanguy playing against Chelsea next game, or I think Lo Celso would be back by then. I think our South American players would be back by Chelsea, right? So I wouldn't. Yeah. So I better see Tanguy playing on Thursday. I better see Brian Hill playing on Thursday. Let's just take this game and just put it to the back of us and let's move forward. But the reason why this game seems why it hurts so much more than just a simple 3-0 defeat is because we have problems creating chances against Watford, and we kind of just dealt with that because we got the win. So we're like, whatever, we'll just move on. But when we don't create those many chances and our defense is leaking and we do have an injury crisis, it's very worrying. But you know what? Let's just move on. This is the beauty of football. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. You just gotta just move forward, and we'll see what this team is made of. We'll really see how strong the mentality is. We'll really see how great this team cohesion is that we've been hearing about before the season, of the fighting spirit that Nuno has. So we'll see what this team is really made of. I'm excited to see. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hear you, man. And then Goguma says, with basically it's $5, 5,001, $5. Excellent stream today. Thank you, panel. Good work. That says Sugo Hashisamnida, which means good work. But Kirian, go ahead and promote your channel, my friend.
Yeah, I have a channel called Spurs After Dark. I went on a little bit of a hiatus. I moved out to the mountains and had some internet issues, but we're back online, as you can see. So yeah, I'll be releasing a broadcast schedule soon, but I'll probably get something going this weekend, and probably tomorrow night. But come check us out. We do live streams, usually late night, probably like around 10 p.m. Eastern time. So pretty early morning for the UK guys, but should be good for everybody. And on the state side and up in Canada. And yeah, I mean, I just want to say, I was pretty hard on Nuno, but do not mistake me. Like I back Nuno. I think he is a good manager. I think he can do better than the tactical layout he went today. And the bigger issue is the squad. And hopefully he can get some of these players playing better. He can find his way into a 3-back formation that can help us move forward. And just try to keep your faith in him. And that's all we can do. So Nuno we trust, and come on, you Spurs.
And for anybody out there who is being super negative on Nuno, I've got 4 words for you guys. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls. But no, I just think that we need to be honest with our criticism, but we also need to be rational about it, right? Like, for instance, if your wife, if you guys are supposed to go somewhere and your wife gets in her car and it's a beater, it's a car that doesn't work that great, and and she goes on a trip and the radiator pops out or blows or whatever, are you going to get mad at her because she came home late? And the reason why I think that that's analogous is because Nuno's driving a beat up car that was already starting to break down. Yeah, he should have maybe done a little maintenance on it beforehand, right? That's why I'm saying he's ultimately responsible. But in the end, when that beater breaks down, it's because it's a beater. And we had a beater squad today. If we were driving, just got a tune up, even if it's a bad car, if it just got a tune up, it's been cleaned and washed, it's got a full tank of gas, and we put in that performance today like we did, right? Yeah, then it's all Nuno's fault, right? Why did you come home late? Oh, I just lost track of time. Those are two differences, and that's the only reason why I'm not, 100% blaming Nuno today. But folks in the audience, we have hit hour 3. Normally this show goes about 2.5 hours. It's been a great one. I'm headed on a little mini vacation tomorrow, so the next time you guys will see a show here on the channel is, I want to say, Wednesday, because you'll see Mr. K. No, Tuesday night. You'll see Mr. K Tuesday night. For Talk to K. Everybody loves that show because it's full of positive energy, although Mr. K was a cussing fiend over on Mari's show this afternoon, screaming and yelling. But look, like I always say, at the end of every show, just stay strong. Stay Spurs. And you know what? We'll see you next time. Take it easy, folks.
Come on, you Spurs.
We love you.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's go now.
Quiz.